Welcome to the Main Character Podcast. I am your host, Brandon Hamblin, main character of my own story. But this podcast isn't about me. It's about you, and all of you. Every person that has ever lived on this planet, all 8 billion people here now, all that came before us, and all that will come hereafter are the main characters in their own story. My aim is to interview people that embody living in their energy and discovering from their perspective what their perception of reality is like. Buckle up. You're about to experience the world through another main character's eyes. Every single episode, I'm like, this one's going to be the one where I finally get it right. It's finally perfect. So we're going to run through a little checklist. Okay. That's recording. This is recording. We got the mic things. This is good. New chords. We should be good to go.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I like again, on the, some people introduce a podcast, right? This is going to be my guest and blah, 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 blah. And I kind of like you never know what the entry point is.
Just going,
it just goes. Yeah. And so thank you for listening to them.
Yeah.
You totally made my day.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
Good.
I called Rachel afterwards and she's like, you are like glowing. What the heck just happened? I'm like, Sophia's been listening to him. I'm so excited.
Well,
yeah.
In most podcasts, you have like all the craziest, super cool people, and that's great. But sometimes you just want to listen to like a regular story. And, that's interesting because, not everything it has to be like at a super high energy level.
Right.
There's still mundane parts of life.
There are. Well, and this is actually maybe the counterpoint to that is one of the thoughts I have is, okay, when does a celebrity realize they're a celebrity, right? Because they've got that aura about them and they walk around like their shit don't stink, right? And then you start to get into their stories and you're like, oh, they're just regular people. But at some point there's
this flip.
Was it after their first hit song, hit movie, hit like whatever the thing was that put them on the map?
Mm-hmm.
They usually go through that like weird phase of trying to figure out what how the celebrity works,
who they are as a celebrity.
Right.
There's different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they all have backgrounds like anybody else. They just decided at some point, hey, I'm going to do this thing, and this is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are all the main characters. And so as much as everybody does have the mundane, from the celebrity down to the most normal person, we all have really cool, unique stories.
Yeah. Well, not every experience. Well, I don't think there's any new experiences in a way. It is new because everybody's looking at it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
But the thing in itself isn't new. I feel like there's so much stuff.
Right.
Because I'll be watching like old Instagram videos and they're like stuff you did from your childhood. And it's like the same thing I did,
right.
Playing with the door swing, just ripping grass out of the dirt.
Right.
Twisting on this, like everyone did stuff like that. And, you think you're alone, but
right.
We're all humans, we all follow everything.
Right. Well, and as much as everybody has done everything, right? There's nothing new under the sun, as they say. You experiencing it and doing it is the first time you've done it.
Exactly.
And so it is new.
Yeah.
Right. That's the whole touch the stove concept. How much can I learn from other people so I don't have to touch the stove? There's a lot of things I still need to touch the stove.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to let the kid touch
the stove. Is this still really hot? Oh yeah.
Otherwise they'll keep going for it. They'll not stop because they'll just keep trying to push the boundary.
Yeah. I always thought that would be there's some people that are born without the ability to feel.
Mm.
I wonder if I'm sure there's some way you can develop that with some neuro issue, but there's people that are born without, right? They feel no pain.
Mm-hmm. That would be scary,
Right. Well, and that's the problem is they don't know, because that's our danger, right? Like, hey, don't do that. It's bad.
Yeah.
Well, they don't know it's bad.
My grandpa messed up his foot like that. He has diabetes and he broke it on the job and he was walking on it broken for months. And so it totally destroyed his foot for recovery and stuff because it was like so far gone. He's been stepping on it. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, and at that point, I mean, a lot of diabetics, if they get deep enough, they amputate.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was fine.
Oh, it was good.
He kept the foot. It recovered all the way.
Yeah. That would not be fun. Well, but right. You don't feel and you just lose that part of yourself. And I think that's true kind of across the board.
Our body's made it really important to we're very in tune with it. Like we know what we want to eat, when we need to eat. It knows everything as long as we figure out how to listen to it.
Yeah.
And most people don't know how to listen to their bodies.
Yeah.
But it's going to tell you everything. You know, if you're in a bad situation, your gut's going to flare up. It's going to tell you need to get out of there.
Yeah.
You know?
Follow that intuition.
But if you're not in tune with yourself and you don't know how to listen to your body, you're just like autoplane, airplane, whatever. Autopilot mode, just going, you know.
Yeah.
You're never going to like see what's going on around you. So
that's very true. Okay, so maybe that's a good spot to start. I mean, this is all a good spot to start, but a lot of people aren't in tune enough to even think about their intuition. So clearly it's present for you. How and why?
I would say from like childhood, I grew up in a kind of like rough house, always crazy, you know, always like parents are on nerves. You know, you have to always like kind of listen for what's going on.
Yeah.
So you kind of like start getting in tune with like surroundings, knowing like what's going on in the house, to know like what kind of steps you got to take, how you got to interact with people. And just, I think like that as a foundation. And also just like different walks of life. Like I've had an eating disorder when I was young.
Yeah.
And that's helped me be more in tune with like how I eat.
Yeah.
Because I've really worked really hard to try to figure out how to listen to my body, feed it when it's hungry instead of just suppressing or whatnot.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a couple fascinating things there. Which one do you want to dive into first?
I don't know. My parents. That's a very long story. We could talk about that.
Okay.
All day, every day.
All day, every day. Okay, well, let's go there. Sometimes I like the chronology thing. So where were you born? Yeah, let's.
Well, I was born in Russia.
Oh, cool.
Volgograd, Russia.
Where's that?
There's a Volga River. It's one of the biggest ones. It's on the European side.
Okay.
And I was born right on the river. It's connected to the Caspian Sea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
It used to be called Stalingrad before World War II, and that's where the Russians believe World War II ended for them.
Yeah.
So the statue of Mother Russia is in that city.
Oh, man. Okay. Yep. There's
huge city.
And the energy there has got to be just...
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just like dreadful, kind of, even.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the site of how many deaths?
I know. Mm-hmm.
Wild. Okay. All right. So you were born there.
Born there. I moved to America when I was 9 months old. So my dad's family, they got this thing to where they're able to move across the country. And usually, actually, my mom and I, in cases like that, wouldn't have been able to cross over.
Okay.
Because only my dad's family, he and his brothers and his parents got accepted to move to America. But since it was that was decided, and then my parents got married, like in between the whole process, so we're kind of able to sneak in.
Cool.
Not sneak in, but right. Like it was, there was the loophole, and we were able to get over.
Get in there. Yeah.
So, yeah, all my family's Russian. I grew up speaking Russian.
Cool.
I didn't learn English till I went to, was it kindergarten? First day kindergarten. That's when I was like, I learned how to say the bathroom, because
oh my gosh,
how are you going to go to the bathroom?
Right. Well, yeah, that is like the universal. I want to be able to say hi, bye, and bathroom.
Yes. Always.
Yeah. El baño. Right. That's the first thing I learned in Spanish.
Too hard because the elementary school I went to, there was a lot of Russian kids there.
Okay. Yeah.
And they already spoke English American. So I mean, English Russian.
So there was a lot of help translating.
Easy,
yeah. Although that's one of those, because Russian isn't Latin based. There's no real connecting pieces. You are learning something fresh.
No, it's totally different.
Yeah.
But it is similar to Spanish, to where you talk in like the pronouns, there's a male and a female to it. And
that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've like very little bit of Spanish, but I could see like the connections of it and how, like if I tried to, it'd be a little bit easier to comprehend than going in there straight out.
Well, and English is such a bastardized, like, we're just going to borrow from everything. And here's
so
these
annoying.
rules, but the rules have all the exceptions. Learn the rules so that you can know the 500 ways that we break them. Yeah.
I actually read somewhere the I before E rule.
Yeah.
It's broken more than followed. So I don't, why even make that a rule?
Why make that the rule? Oh, gosh.
Have you ever seen those videos where the people will say a different way to respell the word with the different ways people combine letters, that like the silent G in lasagna, and they'll create words that are like normal words, but they're spelled totally differently, but you can pronounce them correctly.
Yeah, so it's phonetic instead of
the spelling's stupid.
Yeah, the spelling is stupid.
Ugh.
Oh man.
But in Russian, what you say is exactly what you write down.
Okay,
so it's so simple.
Like, give me an example.
Well, like, I'll just use the word karova. It's Krova.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, it's simple. There's nothing.
No weird rule.
Yeah.
It's
just straight.
What does it sound like?
Put it down.
That's how it is.
Oh,
that's so much easier.
There's no like complications.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, so
yeah,
kindergarten, you
America.
learn English.
Yeah.
Let's stick on the language just for one more second.
Yeah.
So do you still use Russian fairly regularly
I'm
then?
still fluent. Last year, I will say, I thought I was starting to lose it because I wasn't talking as much. So I made more of an effort to try to speak to family or, talk more in Russian. And at the coffee shop, it actually helps because there's so many Russians that live in Liberty Lake that come on by.
There are.
And they love it. They love seeing that there's Russians.
That is one of my favorite. Well, I think you thought I was Russian or when I first came in.
Slavic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have my ancestry DNA thing, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm all
mix of everything.
A mix of
all the European,
all the stuff. Yeah. Okay, where was I going to go?
Back
with
on that.
Yeah.
Is, I've been practicing a lot more Russian,
and
this year I've never heard it so much, but I've been hearing so much from people telling me I have an accent. Like half the people I talk to say they hear an accent and the other half don't.
Oh.
But people never have really told me that my whole life until recently.
Yeah.
And so much recently, it makes me think, I wonder if like practicing it a little bit more made some of that like in the back.
Yeah.
Sounds like accent come back.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering.
That's cool.
I mean, interesting. Like I didn't know you could develop an accent.
Well, yeah. Well, and there has to be. So I went on a Mormon mission for like 6 months. It was not very long lived, but I was called Spanish speaking over in New Jersey of all places. But what was cool, and that's my favorite part about the U.S. is you get everything.
Oh yeah,
like everybody's
There's
here.
A little mix of everything.
There's a mix of everything. Everywhere. And so being in New Jersey, I got Spaniard Spanish, I got Mexican Spanish, I got Puerto Rican Spanish, I got Colombians. Like name the country, I got their version. And everybody has an accent. And then even English in the U.S., right? You go to the South, you go to the Northeast, you go anywhere, the Great Lakes, everybody has a
different kind of accent.
Yeah, so it's got to be the same with Russian, right? Are you more like the European side? Are you more like over?
See, I don't know about that.
I'll bet there is. There's got to be.
I'm sure there is, because the country's huge.
Right.
Not everybody has the same tone.
No.
And everything, of course not, but.
Right. And then you get blended stuff.
Well, there's also so many different other Slavic languages.
Right.
Like Ukrainian.
Right.
Super similar.
Right.
But I had a Ukrainian friend and her mom would try to talk Ukrainian to me. And you can pick up
bits
words
and pieces
here or there, but the majority you're sitting there like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
A little confused. Like, I got that word. Okay.
Yeah.
I see where we're at. Back on topic.
That's too good. Well, and okay, not weird, quick rabbit hole. Is there, because when I was over in Western Washington, there was a really large Ukrainian contingency, a couple of Ukrainian churches actually. And then like, if you went an hour north, there was a lot more Russians. And so I'm curious if there's any, I don't know if bad blood's the right word, but is there, like, if somebody from Ukraine comes in, is there any?
It's 50-50.
Okay.
There's some people, like, if, like, let's say I asked, oh, are you Russian? But I didn't use Russian or Ukrainian or Slavic. There will be a few Ukrainians that get super offended about that. I've definitely run into that. And then there's also people that really don't care. They're like, call me whatever, doesn't matter. Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
But some people are, like, really hard and set about it. Another thing about like why there's more of something in, like if Spokane has a little more Russians or Walla Walla has more Ukrainians.
Right.
It's because there's different programs and immigration to where when you've lived a certain amount of time in the U.S., you could request to have your family come and be sent over here. That's how we got to America is we've had family over here and they wanted my father's family to come over. So they call it the Lautenberg program. So
the Lautenberg program. Cool. Okay. That's good.
My mom used to work in World Relief, the same company that we immigrated to. So I got kind of all the ins and outs.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's cool. Okay. That made me think of something and my brain's not working. What's the time frame? Was this like 2000-ish?
Yeah, 2005, August 1st. Which is funny. That's my boyfriend's birthday. So there's like a joke between the family that I was his first birthday present.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. Okay, yeah, because right around then was when I was in. Is that right? Yeah, that's actually exactly when I was in New Jersey, and that's when Bush was talking about something with illegal.
All presidents every time.
Right, but there was like, it's a big topic, and there was riot in the streets, and then it's of course, well, do it the right way if you're going to come in, and so I mean, it's the
Lautenberg, yeah,
Lautenberg. Yeah. That's the right way to get in. Yeah.
And that one's just only specific for Slavic.
Yeah.
Speakers. They did it like once a year.
Okay.
You had a chance to go in and submit your form.
Yeah.
But everything else is a little bit different, I think.
Well, right. Really yeah. The immigration stuff is wild to me. That's so cool though.
Yeah.
Especially that there was like that weird little exception that got you and your mom.
Know.
Were there any siblings at that point? Are you oldest?
No, I am the oldest.
Okay.
All my younger siblings were born here in the States, so I'm the only one with
dual citizenship.
Cool. So I did want to go back when I turned 18, but war broke out, so I'm like putting that on the back burner.
Oh, yeah.
Before I go meet the other half of the family.
Yeah. I hear it's beautiful. I've always wanted to go to Russia. I love Russia.
So much,
I love all the countries. Yeah.
Every country has its.
They've got cool stuff.
Everything's got something.
Yeah, and just because there's a couple people that aren't getting along, right? Like that doesn't mean that the country itself doesn't have a rich, amazing history and awesome people and all that. And that's where I go crazy because these people are bad. All the Iranians are bad. That's such a gross.
That's what Hitler did.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's so bad. Put them all
in one box, and then you can't judge everybody by what others do.
No, exactly.
Everyone's their own person with their own thing and everything. So
right,
you never know.
You never know.
Got to get to know them.
Yeah. Okay, so came over kindergarten, learning English. What else about little Sophia?
So actually, my mom got pregnant with me when she was 19.
Oh, and my mom too.
Great.
Yeah.
Everyone's And there was like a fight in between the family whether to keep me or not. My grandfather on my dad's side gave my father a one-way ticket to St. Petersburg to come and never see my mom again because it was very taboo in the church.
Oh yeah. Is that Russian Orthodox?
No, we did Baptist.
Okay.
My mom was actually previously 7-day Adventist before my father converted her to Baptist, and there was a whole thing to that.
Yeah.
Mom's going to go to hell because she's a Baptist now.
Right.
So, yeah. It's all
funny. Man. We talk about different countries, talk about different religions. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The tribalism is brutal.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So there was like a lot of fight whether to keep me or not.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting married. They were like high school sweethearts.
Oh, that's cute.
Cute until they both had their very traumatic childhoods, and I don't blame them from not growing up and learning from that. But everybody has their opportunity too, so they're kind of like both messed up situations bonded together, created their own crazy messed up situation to pass on to their children.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to break the cycle.
Yes,
it's hard.
It is.
I see it in everyday things that I do. Like I can see a reflection of like what I don't want to be doing. And it's hard because you have to literally stop everything you're doing, like rewire your brain and how you're thinking. And if you don't catch all of it, it's such a difficult process.
Well, but that's the first key is recognition.
Yeah.
Right. And a desire.
Yeah. Most people, I feel like they're not awake. They're so stuck in their own brain. They're mostly closed-minded.
Yeah.
They think whatever their reality is the way.
Yes.
And they just got these blinders on like the horses, and they can only see the path in front of them.
That's well said.
Never leave outside their box, never look out what's around them.
Right.
Really consider. And I think that's where my parents are at.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So they're just like stuck in their one headspace, and they don't want to look at anything else. They don't want to listen to anyone.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, in a lot of ways, that's the safe space.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's safe.
It's what you know.
Yeah.
Right? You got the blinders on, stay on that path. That's what you're supposed to do. Why would you ever look anywhere else?
Yeah. And if it's working laid out for you, why not? Why change?
Right.
And especially if others are supporting you and there's that kind of comfort.
Yeah.
You don't have to go anywhere.
Well, and not only supporting, but acceptance.
Yes.
Because as soon as you do change.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, why are you changing?
Yeah. Was there something wrong?
Right.
Yeah. Like, what'd you do there?
Yeah. It's, man, the judgment piece is thick. Oof.
But yeah, crazy parents. So like I was saying, extreme Baptist.
Okay. Yeah.
Like crazy. And then also Russian, super strict. Never allowed to do anything.
Nothing.
At all.
Now, what did that look like? Was that like no PG movies?
Oh, yeah. There's so many movies I have not watched. I am seriously catching up every day on like what movies I haven't seen. There was this thing that had the rule I couldn't watch PG-13 movies till I turned 13.
Okay.
But once I was 13, my siblings weren't 13.
Oh,
they're
so
like, it's not fair, Sophia. Just wait for that. And at that point, I just didn't watch it.
Right. Yeah.
I just gave. I got in really big trouble one time. My dad found out I had Netflix. I downloaded it on my phone.
Oh.
And he's like, there's bad movies on.
Dun, dun,
You're in trouble if I see you with Netflix.
Oh, no.
It was just like, it's a little intense.
Yeah. No dating until 16?
Oh, 30.
You're lucky you have a boyfriend now. Yeah.
They hated him. My dad, he's my boyfriend. He tried to make an effort to come shake my dad's hand.
Yeah, do the gentlemanly thing.
But my dad, like, he went and picked me up after homecoming or prom it was.
Yeah.
And Jaden walked me to the car. You know, he tried to talk to my father, and my dad just looked away. Didn't say anything, just looked down, like death glaring. And I was just like, what? Are you a child right now? Just say something.
Oh, no.
Like, and he's still not a single effort. My mom's talked to him, but.
Okay, so Jaden's who you're still dating?
Mm-hmm.
When did you two start dating?
When I was 16. It's going to be 4 years this June.
Oh, cool.
So we've been together a while.
Wow, look at that.
Kind of like growing up together.
Oh, I love that.
So it's so fun.
Yeah.
With its challenges, of course.
Oh, for sure.
Because we're both just becoming fresh adults, and you're trying to navigate this adult world and try to figure out what happened with us in the past and why we are the way we are.
Yeah.
And also, how are we going to grow up together as a couple?
Right.
And separate at the same time. So
you
much.
Are so far ahead of the game. So far ahead of the game. I started dating Rachel when I was 16 or 17. And we've been together now for, we did 20 years in July together, married 18.
Congrats.
Thank you. But we kind of had that, like we had similar religious upbringing, right? So we know what the mission is. We're doing this thing. And then when we left Mormonism, it was like, okay, hold on, this piece that was like really our joint goal together, that's out the window. So, hey, wait, we're autonomous individuals? Wait.
Yeah. You
what?
make your own decisions.
Yeah. And we need to develop, and we were developing ourselves, but it just took a whole different thing. So at 20 to be like, hey, we've got these things and being aware of them, and we're working on us and we're working on our shared.
Yeah. Well, it helps being together. Like hyper aware your whole life.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have many friends my age because none of them are on my level of like understanding.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to talk to someone your age and they're still, you know, in their high school spirit.
Right.
You know, they don't understand the same stuff.
Totally.
So.
Yeah. And half of them, because are you still living at home?
My parents kicked me out when I was 17.
Oh, okay.
So I've been on my own for a little bit. We're
good.
Working all the time. So.
Well, and there's that, right? There's how many people your age are still at home, haven't even had their first job, don't even have your driver's license.
Mid 20-year-olds, they're like, "Oh yeah, my parents were paying for my apartment." And I'm like, "Great.
Well, that's nice.
Where do you get there? Where can I sign up?
Yeah, are they adopting? That's,
they send you food every month.
Right,
that's crazy.
They pay your cell phone and your insurance. What do you do? Oh man, there is definitely an advantage to having to grow up early.
Yeah.
Because it puts you ahead of the game.
Ups and downs.
It definitely has its ups and downs. Because then the down is, well, shoot, I've been doing this thing and I have to be hyper aware and anxiety, and your adrenals can get shot, and there's a wear and tear on.
So much work to undo stuff. But I'm so way better set up for the next few years.
Oh, for sure. Well, and then I take it you want to have kids?
Yes. Hopefully. Not too soon.
Not too soon. Yeah, Rachel and I, we agreed to wait 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting married at 20 years old. Let's make sure this works out.
In Russian community, all the girls get married so young.
And then start having babies. All of my
childhood friends that I grew up with that are my age, they're all married right now.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Well, I mean, that's kind of...
Well, crazy enough.
Is that a good or is that a bad?
I mean, it depends. I feel like most of the girls that I know that have gotten married that young, it's because, they want to have sex, and you can't sleep before marriage. And another thing, it's so you can't leave parents' house until you're married. You're supposed to technically live, especially as a female.
Yeah.
You have to live with mom and dad until, they can pass you off to your husband. My dad would always tell me, he's like, you are my property. I own you. And once you're married, I will pass that baton on to your husband, and then you will be his property.
Whoa.
So it's like that kind of a mindset,
Oh, yeah. Is that, I feel like that's a Baptist thing.
I think so.
Because Rachel has a Baptist cousin that every time I see his wife, it's like, dude, you control your wife. Because
the Baptists are really big, like in the Bible, they really focus on how like the wife is submitted to the husband.
Yeah.
The husband is the head of the house. And there's truth to that, of course.
Yeah, you're right.
The man is supposed to be the leader more and,
guide
and like, I feel like I'm like half traditional, half not.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like there is, I do think it's like good because I feel like how we are primally,
Oh, yeah.
The women aren't going to go out, hunt, kill other people, kill the danger, they're going to stay home.
Right. Yep.
The men are there to protect, but I'm still my own person.
Yeah.
You're not controlling all my moves.
Right.
And everything that I do,
Yeah.
I'm not your property.
No,
but,
right. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Well,
but I do think you should be the leader,
Yeah.
Guide the family.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Well, and there's that's one of the many different topics that I'm fascinated by is, right, there's that very hard patriarchal swing that we had in society for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then feminism and everything was like, that pendulum needs to get pushed. And now it's feels like it's all the way the other way, right? A woman can do anything that a man can do. Screw the men. We don't even need men. It's like, okay, the happy medium is the recognition that nobody owns either one, right? Again, autonomous. And there's strengths and weaknesses in both men and women. And there is that biological piece, right? To your point, you have the man is supposed to be the protector, is supposed to go out and hunt and bring back.
But we're not doing that anymore.
No, we're not doing that anymore.
It shows up in like different ways.
It totally shows up in different ways. But then, man, I feel like the most earned title and one needing to receive the most respect is mother.
Yeah. Because they do a lot.
They do so much. I mean,
you don't even know until you're there.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy. And like father is absolutely important.
Yeah.
And right, I've talked about this with a couple of podcasts. Having a man and a woman raising children, you're getting both the masculine and the feminine. So you're raising the child in a balanced environment. And it just gets into trouble when you don't have both working in unison. Yeah,
because you need the softer side to teach you how to manage your emotions.
Yeah.
How to, look at things, how to have empathy, understand what other people are feeling.
Right.
But you also need the side to where like, I need to do something.
Yes.
I need to have ownership, discipline, responsibility.
Yeah.
And you need that from both sides.
Totally.
You can't have opposites or like parents telling you opposite things to each other.
Right.
And it's not going to work.
No.
Do you want to hear my controversial theory about the feminist movement?
Oh, please. Yes, always.
Controversy.
Yay.
I think, I think the government is a whole big scam.
Yes, absolutely.
In
oh my
so
gosh,
many
we're
ways.
going to jump into that too. Yeah.
But I think it was made to like confuse the people and, make them unaware to what other stuff is going on.
Yeah.
They wanted, there was good to it, back in the day where women couldn't work and they're in an unhealthy relationship, they can't leave.
Oh, totally. They're trapped.
That's how their support is.
Yep.
But now they want more workers.
Yeah.
They want everybody to work, everyone to think that they could do it the only way possible. Also, bringing women away from what they're naturally supposed to do,
right,
not focus on the kids anymore.
Yeah.
And you could see a dramatic change in how children are being brought up.
Yep.
There's not any more attention focus. We're not spending quality time into shaping the next generation.
Yep.
You just throw an iPad in front of their face because I got to go to work.
Yep.
And now everything's so expensive. You have to have two incomes. You can't just live with one.
No. It's totally screwed up society, because yes, there was the downside. Bad relationship, woman's trapped because she can't go get a gig. Yeah. And divorce was very frowned upon. You talk about your dad not wanting to talk to your boyfriend.
Yeah.
My grandparents, on my mom's side, my grandma had gotten divorced. And when she met my grandpa and he would take her over to his parents' house, my great grandpa wanted nothing to do with her because she was a divorcee. And so they would come over for dinner. He would go out down into the basement until they left, and then he'd come back up. He would completely ignore, wanted nothing to do with her.
Well, that's my parents won't get a divorce. It's wrong.
It's wrong.
When everything was kind of hitting the fan, my mom started going to therapists, and she told me, she's like, I've tried like 3 therapists, and all they tell me is that I need to divorce my husband. I can't do that. They're wrong.
Yeah.
The Bible says this.
Yep.
I'm loyal. I'm not going to leave him. No matter how horrible my relationship is.
Gonna stick it out. Isn't that wild?
I need to find a different therapist. They're just telling me that I need to be done with my husband.
Is it gonna
that
take
just can't be right?
10 of them until she's like, okay, they've all told me the same thing.
Probably. But also, you cannot tell anyone anything. They have to come to it on their own. And that is such a big thing. That is also a hard pill to swallow.
It
as
is.
A perfectionist and a control freak. I can tell you the correct answer if you would just listen.
I know the answer.
But they got to understand it for themselves.
Yes.
It's so hard, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there's so many. That's why I love the puzzle pieces and why I love gathering information, because I never think I'm 100% right about something, but I usually am like, I'm on the right track. But I'm open enough that I'll gather information, more information, because I want to refine my process.
Yeah.
And challenge me. I do want the debate. I do want the other view. I want to understand why you feel so strongly about it, because I feel pretty strongly on this side. We're at total odds. How? Why?
Well,
there's some truth in what you're saying, and there's got to be some truth in what I'm saying. Where's the common ground? But so many people have the blinders on.
Yeah, I don't think everything's black and white either. There's no right or wrong. There's a lot of gray area, and there's a lot of pieces, which I think is so important with humans. We're supposed to communicate and come together and mesh different ideas.
Yes.
Because not everyone's totally right and not everyone's totally wrong.
Right.
There's like little, like I was saying, the puzzle pieces.
Yes.
Of like, we're here to connect the dots
and
piece everything together.
Yeah. Which is why communication is so key, and not judging, because you can't have a good, open, honest conversation if you're judging somebody the entire time.
Yeah.
And just close-minded.
Another thing your podcasts have helped me with, ever since I stopped I was really deep into the Baptist belief.
Okay, I was wondering where you were at with that.
Yeah, so we grew up going to a strict Russian church, skirts.
Yeah.
One time I had my nails painted when I was a kid.
Oh, no.
And some girl younger than me came up to me and she told me that I was going to burn in hell because I had my fingernails painted.
Whoa.
I was like, whoa. Like...
Wow.
Just like crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we eventually left the church. My family started their own church.
Oh, so the whole family did this. Okay. I was thinking.
We left kind of sad story. We left the church because I was molested by one of the church officials.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. How my parents approached that too was like completely ridiculous. They found out through like a rumor.
Yeah.
Of like one of my friends that my parents were friends with. So my mom brought it up to me. I told her a little bit and then we never spoke about it again. All she did was tell me forgive and forget. I hate that.
Oh,
hate that with a core passion.
Yep. Because understandably.
Now I can't remember what happened because I never actually spoke about it or talked about it. My whole focus was forgive and forget.
Yep.
And every year I would have this kind of breaking point to where I'm like, okay, I thought I forgave, but this is still hurting me.
Yep.
And so I would pray to God, beg and be like, I need another forgiveness. And then I would believe that God like kind of came over me and would take it, because I would have this like spiritual experience and I think it would great. But then, another one of those times next year, same thing.
Right.
And again and again and again.
Triggers again.
Now I'm over it. It's been but weird thing, I still see him around all the time.
Oh.
In Spokane. I randomly run into him.
Yeah.
He doesn't recognize me though.
Oh, isn't that
interesting? Yeah.
So my dad was molested by his scout leader when he was 11.
Yeah.
And that would have been late 70s.
No one's talking about that.
No, it was the sweep it under the rug, and they had just.
Well, that's what the church did.
Well, right, and that on the Mormon side, same thing. It was, that's not what you talk about. We're just going to forgive and forget. And so my dad, like to your point, he forgot.
Yeah.
Until it
like somehow resurfaces.
40-ish, 40, 45. All of a sudden, he was like, "Holy crap, I was molested."
Yeah. Well, once your nervous system comes down too, I hear like memories will start coming back, because I don't remember most of my childhood.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes I'll get a glimpse of something and I'm like, oh, that did happen.
Yeah.
I didn't just make that up.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, it's a protective.
Yeah. And another thing about the situation, I was 16 when I found this out. Apparently my parents, like after I told them, they did the meeting with like all the church officials, and they brought him and his parents, and they also brought me to it to like kind of explain the situation and what happened. And I was like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, I can't even remember that, because I'm sure it was super traumatizing.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure I didn't say anything.
Well, right. Well, and then you've got that idea of women being property that's running rampant in there too. And so like, is it actually
It's not that big. He was also 14 at the time. I think I was 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
So it wasn't a grown man.
Oh yeah.
It was some stupid teenager.
Yeah.
That was curious. And another big thing about that, his parents were really important in the church.
Oh, no.
His mom was a like Sunday school, Russian school teacher, and his dad was the head chef.
Okay.
And he worked the sound control system for the church.
Oh no.
So we just left.
Do you want me to cover this up?
No.
Well, right, because like you never know what the weird trigger thing's gonna be. Yeah.
It's funny. Last year my mom reached out to me. She's like, I found this page of like Slavic people that were hurt by the church community, and she's like, it made me think of you. Like, she's like, it's not too late to make a police report. And I'm like, Mom, it's long far gone. If you really wanted to do something about it, you would have done it years and years and years ago. Like, this is you just being guilty, trying to like cross off your to-do list.
Yeah.
So
well, and that whether you are the direct victim or somebody involved, and then how does it still impact you? It's kind of fascinating.
My parents, of course, my mom couldn't stand coming back to that church.
Yep.
So my grandfather, actually, he is a really, really big pastor. He is very important. Like back in Volgograd, half of Volgograd knew him. He used to go like to different countries to do seminars and stuff.
Cool.
Pretty big kind of deal,
Yeah.
My dad was a really heavy pastor's kid. He almost kind of became a pastor.
Yeah.
So they started their own church, Disciples Church, and we did that for a while,
Cool.
And it was fun.
Yeah. Does that church still exist?
No. The majority of the church was like our friends and family, and then the other half of it was Swahili, not Swahili. They spoke mostly Swahili.
Oh, got it.
So
okay.
They're from Nigeria, Ethiopia, whatnot.
Yeah.
But then eventually they started their own church.
Yep.
So most of our church left.
Okay.
And we were happy for them, of course.
Yeah.
And eventually we just closed the church down.
Yeah.
We went to a different American church, and
cool.
I love that church, actually. I went to Victory Faith. And
okay. Cool.
Of Christians have hurt me a lot, and they have been a lot of messed up stuff.
Yeah.
But like, if what Christianity should be like, I would say it was that church.
Yeah.
They did there was some stuff like I fully believed I could speak in tongues.
Oh yeah. Why not?
But everyone did it. It was kind of like a mix of a Pentecostal church. It was non-denominational.
Okay. I was curious. Yeah.
But it was fun. I loved it. I was a youth leader.
Nice.
For a little bit.
Cool.
But my dad took everything away. So my height of most involvement in the church was peak COVID.
Oh,
and
geez.
They didn't care if you wore a mask or not. They said, this is church. Come in, do what you will have the stuff.
Yeah.
My parents did not like that.
Oh, they didn't?
My dad got really mad.
Oh.
He was like, I can't believe they're not taking COVID seriously. You can't go back there.
Oh,
so
no.
I had to leave everything behind.
Oh,
and back then, my entire identity was based in that church. And it was kind of like my world started crumbling down.
Mm-hmm.
I was already like, I need to totally separate from my parents. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And everything was just changed. And then I just kind of stopped. And what your podcast kind of helped me with listening to was in August, his story. I was like, oh, that totally makes sense. And just like kind of throwing bits and pieces in. So I just
that.
love, because I don't think that there's nothing out there and just the Big Bang Theory. Like, that's impossible. Nothing can't come out of nothing.
Right.
Like, but
that something the randomness, or not the random. I mean, it is random-ish, but everything
happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. And how do you like
our
it?
Path is meant to go this way, you know?
Yeah.
I also really, the one you did recently, Autumn. Her story was very interesting too.
Isn't it wild?
Yeah. And how like we have the control, like we kind of make the decisions in the beginning to like kind of where we're going, and our higher self is kind of guiding us.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really interesting concept.
It's kind of a cool concept, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's you said it earlier, when there's new ideas introduced and you're just like, nope, that's wrong. I've got my blinders on.
Mm-hmm.
That can't be right. I definitely had, between like the ideas that August shared with the I am and the I am not, with Autumn's ideas, if you had introduced me to those when I was 20 years old,
absolutely not.
I would have been like, nope. You guys are crazy. I would have probably labeled them all sorts of weird things.
Well, the devil possesses them.
You know,
why else are they speaking these outlandish, crazy ideas?
Right.
They're trying to corrupt our Christian, pure mind.
Right. Well, and that's where I still come back to, I wouldn't consider myself Christian.
Mm-hmm.
But man, there's so many good things in there. And one of them, and I say it all the time, is love God. And whatever your idea of God is love the creator, love whatever got us here. Love that.
My big thing to like combat Christians and their stuff, God's main commandment is love your neighbors as yourself.
Yes.
And love yourself first of all.
Yes.
You know, and if you treat others horribly, you don't love yourself.
No, because it's a mirror. It's a reflection of you.
Most people don't love themselves.
Right.
Most people will be petty and hate their neighbors because, they leave their trash out a day too long.
Yeah.
And they hype not all of them, but a lot of them hyper focus so much on like, this is the right way. This is the right way. They piece the Bible apart, but they haven't taken the splinter out of their eye first before they're trying to fix the world.
Exactly. Well, and I think this is one of those things I've been trying to figure out is my big move out of Christianity was, I don't think I need a savior, right? Because that really is like the key that makes Christianity work, is you need a savior because you are sinful, you're fallen, you're however you want to title that. This is a fallen world. And so you need somebody to save you because you're not capable of saving yourself.
Yeah.
And my viewpoint has shifted to if some amazing, intelligent, alpha and omega, all-powerful, all-knowing being created me and this world and this reality and all of these things, if we're in a fallen state, the thing that created us either made us that way on purpose or he screwed up, which means he's not really all-powerful. Those are the two options.
Yeah.
And if he made us this way, then, right, it's eating of the fruit. It's the knowledge of good and evil. You have to experience both. And so if I have to experience both, then it can't be bad that I have to experience both.
Yeah.
And so, but I say all that to say, where I think Christianity gets in trouble is that piece where, because they start to feel so bad about themselves because they're sinful, because they're right, whatever that other stuff is, they're going to see that in other people, and they want to see that in other people because it helps them justify their position of, oh, we are all bad, and because everybody's bad, I'm bad. It's kind of a self-reinforcing negativity that helps the tribe stay alive.
Yeah, sure. And this is a big theme in my life right now, is like, I'm a crippling people pleaser. I will base everything I do for another person to like me.
Ding, ding, ding. I've been there.
Yeah. Whether like their opinion doesn't matter at all. I've seen this person for the first time. They think negative. It doesn't matter. But, you know, something deep inside me is like, I really, really need their approval. I need everyone to like me, because if not everyone likes me, that means I am a bad person.
You know? Yep.
And so my theme is like, how people think of me is not at all what they think of me. It's what they think of themselves and their reflection of their stuff. And it's a hard pill to swallow. There's like a constant reminder. Like, that's their issue. Yeah. I had nothing to do with that. I was just place and time, you know.
Other people's opinion of you is none of your business.
Exactly.
Because it is a reflection of them. And this is because I'm a very hard people pleaser. As soon as you let somebody else's opinion of you matter, you give them control.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah. I give everyone control. What I picked this up from my father, because whenever, you know, you're getting in trouble, he's looking for a very specific answer.
Right.
And he'll ask you a question, and, you know, he'll give you the illusion that he wants to hear what you have to say. Yeah. But you don't give him what he has to say, so spank, you know? And repeat it until you answer what he has to say. Yeah. So I got really good at figuring out what exactly my father wanted to hear from me in that moment. Yeah. So now, mostly I see it with my boyfriend, because I love him so much. But like the way I talk to him is I'll answer and base my decisions on what I think he would want to hear or what I think he would want to do. Yeah. And so sometimes I'll try to slow down and think for myself, you know, what would I really want? And I can't. Mine's completely blank. Oh. Like, I just can't come up with anything, like, and if I'll start thinking, then I'll be like, okay, well, maybe this. But then I'll think more, and I'm like, okay, that's what I would want. That's what I think he would want to do. Oh, yeah. And it's just like, where do I find that? But I learned that just time. It's
time. It's awareness.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're catching yourself. And well, and isn't that whole, the people pleaser thing is so funny, because it is what's made you ultra aware, right? Because that's a survival mechanism. It's, if I got to be aware enough to know how to answer this, how to present myself, how to show up in the world. Otherwise I get punished. So I'm going to be hyper aware and know everything so that I can give the right answer.
If you're perfect, you know, if you don't make mistakes, everyone likes you. Yeah. You know, that's how you're going to get also connections through work. Right. You know, that's how you're going to grow, you know, in the financial, or like with connections and like with other people. Like, if the person you met at the coffee shop really likes you and they have a really nice business idea, you would want that under your belt for like the next time. Of course. You never know. Right.
That's just a good strategy.
Yeah. That's kind of my strategy at the coffee shop. Yeah. Who's the most successful? Where can I see?
Right. I'm gonna make sure they really like me. Oh, you have an opening? Cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're selling a house? Do you have a discount? Right. I'll sign up.
Yeah. Oh, that's too funny. But yeah, I mean, and that is right again. And this is where it's there is no black and white.
No.
It's all gray. Because yeah, that makes sense. It does make sense to want to, like, you should want to do good and have good interactions just because, like, that is a positive, right? There shouldn't be the ulterior motive of, oh, but there might be something in this for me. But it's kind of hard to disassociate those two things.
Yeah.
Like, we do want to cooperate because it is mutually beneficial, but I also want to do it because that's just a good vibe to be on. I want to have good interactions with people. But if it gets to the point where I'm suppressing myself, that's where the trap is.
Well, another also big thing for me is I hate the feeling of like being in the wrong or being in trouble. Yeah. Like, I feel like I go into this fight or flight mode, and I feel like everything's about to crumble down. Yeah. Like, it's about to be the end of the world because I just made a mistake. Oh, yeah. So that, like, is another big push of like, don't make mistakes, you know, because you make a mistake, you're going to be in trouble.
Right.
But I'm not. I'm an adult now.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, you get in trouble with yourself.
Yeah. No one's going to come home and punish me.
Right. Yeah. You aren't getting spanked.
I said a bad word.
Yeah. 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 I think you said fuck earlier, Sophia. Oh my gosh.
Put me under arrest. I should go to jail.
But your nails aren't painted, so I think you're okay there.
I'll make it to heaven.
Jeez. It's so wild, the things that we attach value to.
And well, I also went to a private Christian school.
Oh, you did?
The elementary school, kindergarten through 6th grade.
Okay.
And on Fridays, they would do Bible asking questions. And this is where I would challenge the teacher.
Oh.
And I would get the whole class on my side. So one time I asked, I was like, so, well, do babies go to heaven or hell then? Because they can't decide from right and wrong, left or right, you know?
Right. Yep.
And he told me that babies should go to hell because when they cry and you fed them, you've changed their diaper, you gave them a little bit of attention and they're still crying, they're lying to you. You know, they want something from you and you like they're not like, does that make it sense at all?
Yes. And I really hope that person didn't have children.
But,
oh my gosh.
But he said, but no, they will go to heaven because, you know, they can't, they don't know that they're in the wrong.
Right.
But they are sinning because they're crying for no reason.
Oh my gosh.
But like, that's how babies communicate. They can't talk.
Right. That's how messed up.
Like, and I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh. Well, and that was one of the things that got my mother, because she was raised, I don't think it was Baptist. Methodist? I think she was raised Methodist. And then got married, had a couple babies, and they were like, if you don't baptize those babies, they're going to hell.
Yeah.
She goes, these pure, beautiful
what have they done?
Babies that have done nothing. But if you can add that to your ledger, right?
Yeah.
Your way of thinking of, but crying, they're lying to you. So it is a sin. Like, what the heck? Oh, gosh.
Where do they come up with this? Because it doesn't say that in the Bible. You had to withdraw in some kind of conclusion there in the middle.
But if you have a viewpoint, you're on that path and you want everything to make sense, you're going to start looking at things through that lens and finding ways to justify.
I think that's also why social media is so divided.
Oh my gosh.
Because, well, the algorithm is based for you just to see exactly what you want to see.
Totally. So you think that's the world.
We see such different spectrums.
Yeah.
And when you go to the comment section and you see two opposite people fighting to the death.
Oh yeah. On
their beliefs. There's a little truth to both sides.
Yep.
And that actually used to like really bother me.
Oh.
I was like, I can't believe people are this stupid. And they're arguing.
That still throws me. I'm like, you guys.
Well, I mean, like it used to really bother me to my core, and I would like get really angry, and I would want to comment something. But now that I'm looking at it from like everybody's saying such an extreme side of both. They to their core believe that they are correct.
Yes.
And they will keep fighting. There's not going to be a win.
No.
You just got to look for it from both sides.
Yes.
And that made it easier. It doesn't bother me as much.
Okay, good.
I mean, sometimes I'll see it and the one that bothers me the most is people like, there'll be like an innocent parenting video and people will be like, you're such a bad mom. You let your kid crawl on the floor. I'm like, are you kidding me? Get off the internet.
The parenting ones may like, you could talk politics, you could talk religion. I think the parenting ones might be the most toxic.
It's so bad. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Because everybody has a parenting opinion, right? Well, I was a kid. Well, I am a parent. Well, I deal with other people's kids. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Guess what? We're all the main character and everybody's freaking different. And so,
let it go.
And it comes down to did you vax your kid? Did you not? Did you co-sleep with them? Did you not? Did you breastfeed? Did you not?
How long did they have their binky? When did they get potty trained? You stuck an iPad in their face? Oh my gosh.
Right. All of it.
You're arrested.
Oh my gosh. It's the worst. And I've people that have been like, yeah, we're going to have babies soon. And I want to say things because, and even with your own kids, your first one, it's the test dummy, right? You're the test dummy. I'm the test dummy. Yeah. Gabriel, you met Gabriel. He was our test dummy. Gabe got way more spankings than the other kids don't get any spankings. He got way more spankings.
He probably has a little resentment for that.
Oh yeah. Oh, he does. Oh yeah.
Like, you see what he's doing?
Oh yeah. He's like, you would have smacked him. Why aren't you smacking him? I got smacked.
Well, luckily me and my siblings we all got spanked.
Oh, you all got
spanked. There wasn't
spanked.
too much favoritism for that.
Oh, that's good.
But this is one of the crazy part. There would be these spanking circles, you know. So if something was, you know, they didn't know the culprit. You know, my dad would go around hitting everyone one by one until somebody confesses. And nobody would confess. They're scared out of their mind. So I would always confess, and then I would always get the bad end.
Oh, you're such a good big sister.
I know. Thank you.
take the beatings for the other ones. I was going to say that actually sounds like a pretty good method. I might start implementing it because, man, I have candy bars. We had one of our kids got into our sugar, like legit. The bag of sugar is just there, and I'm like, dude, okay. You guys already go through the ice cream and we aren't even going to buy it anymore because it's gone in a day. You guys are and we'll to say you can have a scoop and then next thing you know, it's gone. They're sneaky. I kind of like the spanking circle idea. I'm going to give that a try until I find out that one of them's just taking it for the other ones.
How you would do it is like take an electronic.
Yeah.
But headphones gone, phone gone.
Oh, and it
Xbox,
is the electronics.
PC gone.
Yeah.
You know, and then slowly until they're all gone.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody confessed. No.
Yep. I guess you guys are just reading books. Yep. No fun. No electronics. And that is. I've had more weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth for my children by taking electronics away than they ever did with a spanking.
I had to delete Instagram.
Yeah, that's probably a good call.
Bad.
It's bad.
I would open it every single time I opened up my phone. No matter what I'd open my phone for, I would open Instagram.
Right, your thumb just like automatically just goes, and you're like, "How did I get here?"
And then you start scrolling.
You're not
but
the dopamine is so good. It's so nice.
And I didn't delete Facebook because I get like a couple alerts on there that I try to keep up.
Yeah,
and I think I might need to. I've been scrolling.
Oh.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. Well, what's the average? I think the average adult spends 8 hours on their device a day. Screen time a day. That's so nuts.
I think, I don't remember the number, but somebody like added it up, like how much time you're spending on your phone. Yeah. And there's like so much time to get stuff done if you just replace that with something else.
So much time.
If you spent all that time in like perfecting a skill or something, playing the piano, you'd be the greatest piano player ever. You know?
Right. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, you have plenty of time.
But it's a great excuse though, you know.
It's so
I don't have
good.
Time. I work so much.
Yeah. And I deserve a little break. I deserve a little downtime.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so pernicious.
And then it's like 3 hours later.
It is. So you were good and you deleted Instagram.
I'm not the best yet. I've replaced it kind of with watching movies.
Oh. Yeah.
But it's better. I don't just like mindlessly scroll my phone too much anymore.
That's good.
Like I'll try to find something else to do.
Yeah.
Be a little more productive. It's a slow path, but hopefully I could break the cell phone addiction.
Yeah, it is bad. Well, and there's an artist that removed, took pictures of people in the subway or just wherever at a restaurant and took the phone out of the picture, but they were still, right? It's the picture, so it's them still staring at it. And we look ridiculous.
I bet.
Right? We do, because you're supposed to be socializing. You're supposed to be making friends. You're supposed to be experiencing whatever the thing is.
Get rid of the phone.
No.
It is such a viable tool in today's society. Like, you can't really have a job without a cell phone.
No.
Now, you need to. Like, I clock in on my phone
for
all my jobs.
Yeah.
You know, I can't just get rid of my phone. I mean, I can, but it'll make life so
we become too integrated.
Yeah.
I've thought about going back to a flip phone. And I just...
How are you going to Google stuff?
Right, that's my justification. It's like, but how will I do life? Somehow life existed before smartphones.
I know. And in your lifetime.
And in my... Right, that's the...
And I grew up with not having cell phones, you know?
Yeah, because you're Gen
Z still.
You're Gen Z. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the millennial experience is very interesting because...
It's definitely different from Gen Z, but I still remember a little bit of a time without a phone.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Parents had flip phones.
Yeah.
For a little bit, you know?
Shoot, your parents were born in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're my age.
Late 80s.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Sorry, I make everyone feel so old. I tell people my age, I'm like, you're 20? Are you kidding me?
Well, you to your point, and why you don't have friends your age, I would have pegged you as from looks 20, absolutely. Well, yeah. But from maturity and interaction, I would have pegged you as 30.
Well, and you can't tell.
No.
There's one girl that came into the coffee shop the other day. Could have sworn she was 24. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit younger.
Yeah.
But then she sat kind of close to the bar, and then eventually I overheard her talking, and she mentioned she was still in middle school. She said she was like 15 or something. And I was like, the heck?
Oh my gosh.
I would have sold you alcohol. I would have.
Oh.
Good thing I can't sell alcohol.
Yeah. Although
like,
if we could add some of that to that strawberry matcha, that wouldn't be just a little.
I've been pitching to Ike that we need to add some wine to the menu.
And why? Well, yeah.
Because some coffee shops do wine, and I feel like, especially with the like sit down vibe, everybody meets with friends over there. I feel like it would make a perfect
the vibe
pairing.
there is perfect for it.
Some margaritas.
Yeah.
We could make some really good espresso martinis because we have really nice espresso.
Yes, you do. Oh. All right. Who do I need to talk to? I'll submit
I'll give you Ike's.
Oh, good. Yeah, a customer request.
He loves his customer. He will listen to it. That's how you need to get something done. Is you get a customer to complain. Okay, something.
Good. All right. Yeah, give me Ike.
Yeah, Ike.
Yeah, give me Ike's info. I'll make this happen.
Great.
Oh, there's so many things. Okay, so
back on track.
Okay, so you got kicked out at 17?
I did. Yeah. So I graduated high school a year early.
Yeah, me too. Nice.
And my parents.
It's crazy how many parallels there are with our stories.
I think it's older sibling.
I think it is too.
And also like heavy Christian, like brainwashing stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I'm grateful my parents made me leave church. Like they forced me to.
Yeah.
Because I would have been stuck there so much longer. I'd still be doing what I'm doing over there. Fully in. Because it was my entire personality.
Right.
You know? But it kind of helped, help me question more.
Yeah.
See it from the other side and just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's been ridiculous my whole life, but now you're like, okay.
Right.
It is ridiculous.
But that was a chink, right? Like this is the way. Oh, except for we're going to leave this and we're going to go do something similar, parallel path. But.
Well, they did let us go to a different church right away after.
Oh, they did.
But my community was there.
Right.
All my connections were there.
Your tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that you're stepping outside the tribe,
and that's when I started smoking marijuana.
Oh yeah. You're definitely going to hell.
I was such a good Christian, so I was like, I can't go to church. I can't pretend that I'm a Christian.
Right.
Because I'm sinning.
Yeah.
I'm actively doing something against the Bible.
Yep.
I'm not like I will come
Although
back
I'm
to
pretty
God.
sure Moses was probably smoking something at the burning bush.
I'm sure. It was probably a marijuana plant.
Something.
A little hallucinate.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not gonna come back to Christ and to God or whatever until I'm back being clean.
Yep.
And then it was like, okay, maybe this.
Yeah. So are you telling me marijuana was really the gateway drug?
Well, God, to add a God. Yeah. It is so at the end of the day, ladies.
Yeah.
Well, God, why is it a plant? God created everything.
Yes.
There's so many man-made stuff. Corn's man-made.
Right. Well,
so
especially the version with
modified.
Oh my gosh, the GMO corn.
Yeah,
it's in everything, and it's making us sick and fat and terrible.
Yeah. And they feed the meat that we eat.
Yeah.
Our cows eat it.
Yep.
Our chickens eat it.
Yep.
It's an endless vicious cycle.
It's so hard to get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually part of my awakening process was diet. Diet was one of the first things.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was, the government takes care of us. The government wouldn't hurt us.
Yeah.
They're out for our good. The FDA, all that stuff, the food pyramid, the DARE program, the anti-drug program in school, like they're looking out for us because there's so many bad things.
Well, the
Rockefeller family. Yeah.
They came out with a statement that the one that they actually got quoted on this is they said that their goal is to poison the food, the water, the air, and the education. Yeah. Like.
Yep.
Come on. They're giving you answers right there. They're laying out in front of you.
They have to tell you.
But it's so expensive. Oh my God. I spend so much money on food.
Oh yeah.
I just bought an 1/8 of a cow.
Oh, nice.
I'm so excited. It's coming this week.
Nice. That's so cool.
But it's expensive.
It's expensive. But I mean, that's right. You either pay now and you maintain a good healthy, or you pay with your health and your money later.
Mm-hmm.
You pick.
Well,
pick your tough.
You can't just sit on medicine all day, all the time.
No.
It's just masking the symptom.
Right.
I also, it must kind of suck being a doctor and like believing in the right thing. You know, you want to tell your patients, you just got to fix your diet.
Right.
You just got to eat right. Sleep a little better. stop eating Doritos every night.
But how many of the doctors actually have gone down enough of a rabbit hole to get there? Because most of them go, oh, you have this issue, I have a pill for you. Right.
And become their own holistic.
Yeah.
You have to call it holistic after that.
Yeah.
Because, you're not using medicine and artificial stuff to pump you up.
Well, and that's what we've done for thousands and thousands of years, like the entirety of human history. And then the Rockefellers wanted, because it was, oil.
Yeah.
And cool, they had a monopoly there. The government broke that up, which is why we have, 8 different oil companies, something like that. And then, but he still wanted to figure out how to keep making money and ruling everything. Yeah. And so, medicine.
Well, there's no money to be made in healthy eating.
No.
Not at all.
No. If you're a doctor and you recommend go eat right, go exercise, get good sleep, take care of you.
No.
They're making any money. It's terrible.
It's like, even when you are in the right mind and you're in that position, like, what are you going to do? Start your own practice and not make any money at all.
Right. Well, and
you just
you're
spent
going against
all this money to go
that
into
tribe
debt to be there.
Yeah.
And you're just going to throw it away just because, this was wrong.
Right.
But you have to live to survive.
Right.
So people do stuff they don't believe in.
Yeah.
Just because it's what they have to do.
Or they keep the blinders on and find ways to reinforce their
Ignorance is bliss.
Faith. Yeah.
So sometimes I think, I wish I didn't learn all this health stuff.
Right.
Because I can't unsee it anymore.
No. And it's everywhere.
And when I don't eat the healthy how I do, I feel so bad.
Yep.
I'm slow. My stomach hurts all day.
Oh, yeah.
It messes up and you're like, ugh.
Every once in a while, I get a craving for a Big Mac. I'm like, the last thing on this planet I should eat is a Big Mac. There's
and you think it's such a good idea until after.
I'm like, I just want the special sauce and the fries, and I know this is going to be bad for me, but I'm going to do. I only do it like once every few months. I'm going to do it, and then I feel like crap.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to feel like crap, but
it's like
do it anyway. It is. I'd rather drink than have the Big Mac with the after effect, but. Yeah, it is kind of nice though, because then to your original point, then when you're on track. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I'm craving whatever it is. Well, I want potato chips. Well, you really want salt because you need salt. Yeah. So go get it healthy.
Well, and it proves that your body will tell you what exactly.
Yes.
It just told you that what you ate is garbage. Don't
do it again.
Like, it messed me up.
Right. Your body wants homeostasis. It wants to be healthy.
Yeah.
Your body, your spirit, your soul, every part of you wants to be healthy. It is screaming at you how to do that. And we ignore it all the time.
Yeah. And once you ignore it long enough, I'll stop telling you.
Yes.
You don't want to listen to me? I'll stop telling you.
Yeah. I'll let your XYZ disease tell you.
Yeah.
I'll let and it does. It just shows up and so bad. Okay, so more on the health journey.
Yeah.
How did you get woken up there?
Ooh,
and you said eating disorder.
Yeah. So I don't know what age I was, but I know for sure I started calorie counting in the 6th grade.
Whoa.
Yeah, like extreme calorie counting.
Wow.
And even before that, as soon as I got some kind of electronic phone, I downloaded MyFitnessPal, count calories.
Yep.
And all the at-home workout stuff. Mm-hmm. And I also had a very fit aunt. I was like 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
Really good gymnast. I want to be just like her.
Oh, cool.
And my mom fat shamed me ever since I was like 7 or 8.
Oh, no.
And my dad.
Oh, no.
So I had this strong belief. Well, and I'm naturally bigger. I'm a very tall girl.
Yeah.
I have very broad shoulders.
Yeah.
So I was always a little bit bigger than everybody else. I look back at all my friends' photos and they're skinny little sticks.
Oh, yeah.
And that created so much insecurity in me.
Yep.
Yeah, I started calorie counting in the 6th grade. I specifically remember somebody offered me a Cheeto during recess. And I was like, I can't eat that. I don't know how many calories are in that.
Yeah.
Or I'll forget before I get home. So I won't be able to put it in my calorie counting.
So no. Wow, you were dedicated.
Yeah.
You were in.
I also used to be vegan for almost 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
It was mostly an excuse to never have to eat because everything has something that's not vegan in there. So it's easier to get away. I also did all of the church fasts, every January.
Yeah.
They would do 21
so you starved
days.
yourself.
Yeah. They did you could do an extreme version to just juice and broth.
Yeah.
Or you could just cut out bad stuff and do it fasting. But I went extreme. I drank just juice and broth.
Yep. For how long?
Well, this was just like monthly challenges.
Oh, monthly challenges. Okay.
And I couldn't get away with always starving myself because, you know, you have to answer to people somehow.
Yep.
But my mom, actually, my parents, they praised me for being so active.
Yeah.
For, you know, taking care of myself so much. My sister actually told me the other day, she's like, my parents used to tell me, they're like, I wish you were more like your sister. You see her working out all the time. You see her doing all that. So I created some stuff in her mind.
Yeah.
Another thing she like unlocked in my memory the other day that I forgot about is I used to do this thing called the Murthy Challenge.
I don't know the Murthy Challenge.
And now I couldn't do this first part. It was 1,000 pull-ups,
damn,
200 push-ups,
okay,
and like 300 squats. And then you'd run a mile before and you'd run a mile after.
Oh man!
Now I couldn't do pull-ups, so I did 100 push-ups, 200 squats, and 300 sit-ups.
Oh, okay.
And I would not be able to walk.
Nope.
At all.
Nope.
My sister said she remembers me having to be carried around because I just couldn't stand up. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, why would you let that go on?
Okay.
You don't think that's unhealthy at all?
Well, was that like a self-hatred piece? Was that a
mix
just
of
can't?
all.
Yeah.
I did hate myself. I hated how my body looked.
Yeah.
And I also, my whole life, I felt like I was in competition with everyone.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be the strongest and the toughest.
Okay.
And, you know, when you're that young, boys aren't stronger than you yet.
Yeah.
And if you are putting in that work, you are stronger.
You
than
are
the
stronger.
boys.
Yep, for sure.
But then, you know, middle school, high school comes along. They all
sprout up.
Somehow they lift 3 times as much as me, and all that happened was a summer.
Yeah.
What'd you
to
do?
get a
Take
little injection of
steroids?
testosterone.
Ugh,
and all of a sudden,
not
boom.
fair.
Yeah. Oh.
And so there's just a lot of competition. Definitely hated myself a lot. You know, I was so hyper focused on. And another thing, it was the only thing I could control. I wasn't able to control anything in my life, but I could control exactly how I ate. Yep. Exactly how I move my body. Yep. Like everything to a T.
Oh, that's fascinating.
That gave me some peace.
Yeah. It was the one spot that you could control.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool, and I say cool from just the like, that's not an angle that I would have thought of. That totally makes sense though. And
so like growing up, it was like that kind of like bouncing around. But then when I was like maybe 15, I finally like kind of accepted. I've listened to like a podcast or something about eating disorders, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have an eating disorder. Yeah. And then it became like more regiment. Like it was more just straight starving myself because I did my research, so I knew how to have the perfect eating disorder. Oh, yes. So I had the perfect eating disorder.
Well, because it has,
But the problem is
I show up as perfect.
I had anorexia, but I never looked anorexic. Yeah. So it all really helped my case. Oh, man. Because when you're in such a off balance like that, your body stores everything.
It stores everything. It wants to like give me something.
I'm not giving it any food.
No.
So the little bit that I do give it, it will hold on to that.
Yes.
It doesn't know the next time it's going to eat.
Right.
So I stayed the same size and I was extremely unhealthy. At a point, I think I was 16 and I would pop like 8 Tylenols a day.
Holy crap.
I was in so much pain.
Yeah, I was going to say your stomach, your kidneys, oh my gosh.
So much pain from not eating. And then if I did eat, even more pain.
Oh yeah. Gosh, yeah, because your body. Yeah.
So much when I ate. And then, you know, if I ate, if it was more than my brain wanted to, I would go make myself throw up.
Yeah, you'd purge.
I was like, I ate too much. It's gonna put it right back on my weight, you know?
Yeah.
And there was like, I think the worst, there was 1 week where I think I had only 1,000 calories in the entire week.
Whoa.
And it was like right before I had that kind of breaking point.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And your mental health gets affected. I mean, oh gosh.
I was in such a rough spot.
Oh yeah.
When I was 16.
And you're a teenager, which is already rough on top of it.
I know. It was so bad.
Plus, that's right around the time that you guys would have been switching churches.
Yeah, it's kind of everything.
Oh my gosh, you had. Oh my gosh, Sophia,
going on.
Holy cows!
I started drinking a little. I didn't drink much, but I would. Yeah. I like to drink.
Yeah,
you know, it kind of like got your mind off of it.
The Russian in you.
And people tell me my blood's made out of vodka. You drink vodka.
Oh my gosh, thank you for that.
You're very, very welcome.
So good.
But I had this like breaking. I was actually living in my grandma's house at the time.
Okay.
And I've been starving myself forever and haven't drinking water. The last liquid I drank was some wine, and I really needed a drink. So I tried to get up from my bed and I collapsed onto the ground. And I like could not pick up any of my limbs. I was just like, I really needed water. And I had to crawl on the ground to get to my water bottle. And I remember just sitting, laying on the floor. And I was like, if I don't stop or change something, I will die.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like my breaking point.
I was going to say, did that freak you out?
Yes and no. I mean, also there's something in the back of me that I wanted to die too.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I could keep going. But then at that point, I felt like I had a lot of people rely on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fine, I'll be strong. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it for the fun of it, you know.
Yeah.
If I can overcome an eating disorder, I can overcome anything.
Anything, yeah.
Just have to be perfectionist about everything.
Well,
so it kind of went away. I mean, I still always have thoughts in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
I feel like also it's never going to go away. You know, it's always going to be there. But it's gotten a lot easier to manage.
Yeah.
I don't have constant ongoing thoughts that like, you know, stop eating.
Yeah.
But like if I gain a little weight too much.
Oh, yeah.
And then I just get too focused. I'll be like, okay, well, I could just start starving myself again.
Right.
It worked for me last time.
I know how it works. I've been there, done that. I can do it again.
Like I'm a professional at this.
Yeah, I'm a pro.
But then you gotta be like, okay, can't do that. You know, we're healed already. You know, we're just gonna go to healthy eating. If you really, really don't like your weight that much, like there's other ways to go around it.
Right.
Like, and at the end of the day, you know, starving yourself is not gonna do it. You're gonna stay the same way.
Well, and because you've come along on what a healthy diet looks like, because I take it you're not vegan anymore. No, you get your good. Oh, good. Oh, yeah. I've like straight carnivore.
No, more like animal based. So fruits, a little bit of veggies still, but I mean, right now it has a lot of junk food mixed into it.
Well, I mean, why not?
I did good for a while, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of around the time I started teaching my fitness classes.
Yes, I was gonna say.
But I went so deep into it, and I was so busy, I didn't have time to really cook for myself. Yeah. And since I'm so disciplined, I didn't let myself have the bad stuff. So there was a point, and I eventually noticed this. I would let myself like sit in the pain and let myself deal with the hunger pain. Yeah. Because I'm so used to it, just brushing it off.
Right.
You know, I know how it feels. I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah.
But one day I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been in pain for 4 hours because I'm just starving. And all I had to do was go eat.
Right.
You know? And so I was like, okay, I got to stop. You know, let's introduce some food into my life just so I could like keep eating, because I just can't let myself fall back into the habits.
Yeah. But you observed it?
Yeah.
You became aware of it?
You know, I'm able to like see the stuff now and just blindly, you know, falling back into habits.
Yeah.
But I almost did. But I stopped myself.
Okay, so I'm going to interject here just really quick because I want to circle back on this. And I'm just going to tell my version of that story. Because you made you said, I don't know if it'll ever go away.
Yeah.
And over the last couple of years, mine finally did.
You think that's great.
So when I was middle school, I'm like 5'10" at that point, 5'8", 5'10", 230 pounds. I had been really active as a kid, but then I'm really like, sugar. Sugar is so good.
More addicted than heroin, actually.
It is, right? Which is wild. And then we just like pump everybody full of it. Yeah. Why not? It's great.
Take it.
Yeah. And so I'm the oldest of 4, but I'm not my dad's biological son. He married my mom when I was 1, right? So he's my dad. He's always been my dad. But he's 5'10" on a good day and always been really fit. My brother, 3 years younger than me, skinny. I remember like during summer vacation, he'd grab a thing of bread and he'd roll it into a ball and he'd just be eating bread all day long. And I'm like, that's the secret to being skinny. So I tried to do it. No, you're eating a bunch of refined carbs. He just has really good metabolism and you're just getting fat.
So skinny can eat whatever they want.
Anything.
You know,
but not
as
fair.
Much. Or they could starve themselves for a little bit too and they'll still
they'll be fine. Yeah.
Like they could do whatever.
Yeah. And he had like a 6-pack out of the womb. And so I was like,
it's easy when you're that low. You know, you just got to do a couple crunches a day and boom, you got a 6-pack.
Fair. Anyways, so I have all these comparisons. And every time my dad was very social, had a lot of friends, he would always introduce me as his husky son.
Ooh.
Oh.
Kill it.
So I had a lot of shame, a lot of I'm the fat kid. I'm sure I got made fun of at school. I don't have any, but like I was the fat kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember between freshman year of high school and sophomore year of high school, and of course I'm also like I'm none of the healthy habits. Like I played basketball and did all that stuff, but I'm also playing video games all day, drinking a 6-pack of Mountain Dew a day. And thinking the food pyramid's correct on top of it. And my family doesn't eat healthy. My dad shops by color. He goes to the grocery store, comes back with all the cereal, right? We got Lucky Charms and Fruit Loops. And I mean, like just crap. I'm surrounded by crap. Finally figured out how to work out.
Yeah.
And I stopped drinking the 6-pack of Mountain Dew a day. So between summer of freshman year and sophomore year of high school, I dropped 70 pounds, 230 down to 160.
That must have felt
and
good.
I gained some height, so like it all even out, right? And all of a sudden it was like, oh, I'm not. But I still saw when I looked in the mirror, when I felt myself, I was still the fat kid.
Well, and there's eating disorders and there's disordered eating.
Yeah.
There's also body dysmorphia.
Oh, yeah.
Body dysmorphia is crazy. I looked at some old photos and I was like, I look like that?
Right.
I was like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought I looked this specific way, and that's all I could see.
Yes. Isn't that wild? Mm-hmm. So then I yo-yoed over the next, in my 20s for sure, from, it was like between starting to date Rachel at 16, 17 and being in my band in my early 20s, I was skinny.
Yeah.
But I still saw myself as fat, and my diet had not been fixed yet. So it was less calories, but probably mostly processed and sugar.
Yeah.
And then mid-20s, I'm yo-yoing. So I'm going from like 195 to 155, and I'm just back and forth, and I can't figure it out. Then I finally start getting my diet really dialed in and my workouts dialed in. And from like, I don't know, 30 to like 34, I knew I was doing the right thing. I knew I was doing the right thing, and the results were there, but I still saw myself as the fat kid. And so I never peaked up over that time over 170, maybe 175. I'd get to that point and I'd stop eating.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to the gym and hit it extra hard. I would do everything, because if I saw 176 on the scale, fat Brandon's back.
Yeah.
And I wish I could figure out like I think it was the intentionality and the really just like bringing it to light and observing it.
Mm-hmm.
Going, why do I feel that way? How do I actually feel about myself? How do I, not what the mirror's telling me, not what the scale is telling me. Am I moving well? Do I feel good? I do. Okay, so you have a goal, like you're 6'2" and you're 172. You're skinny.
Yeah.
Right? I want to add some muscle to this body. But to add muscle, like
you got to eat more.
You got to eat
and
more.
That's scary.
And it's scary. You got to be in a calorie, what's the opposite of
surplus.
That? Surplus. Thank you.
But it has to be a specific surplus.
Right.
Because if you go too over, that's just going to be fat.
Then it's just fat.
Yeah.
Right. So finding that balance.
So scary.
So the last couple of years, I finally got to a point comfortable with my shirt off, going to the beach, doing whatever. Like, okay, I'm good with me. And again, other people's opinions of you are none of your business.
Exactly.
It's my opinion that matters, and I feel good about me.
Yeah.
So the last couple of years has been great, but winter has always been tough because we're indoors. We're not doing anything.
Yeah.
We hibernate.
So easy.
I get seasonal depression anyways. So this winter, I was very intentional about, instead of working out 4 or 5 days a week and avoiding everything, like, go with the season.
Yeah.
You know that you can get back to where you need to be. So if
well, and our bodies are on the same cycle of where we live. It's supposed to go that way.
Yes.
You're supposed to have downtime and up. Like
totally.
Back then, you didn't work during the winters. People would work all summer long.
Yep.
Get stocked up. In the winter, you would hunker inside with your family.
Right.
And just.
And you'd want a little bit of surplus on that body heading into winter, because
celebrating everything that you hardly worked for that year.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So,
yes.
we're not meant to be.
So I finally this winter I let my workouts go down to 2, maybe 3 days a week. I enjoyed some seasonal cookies and all the other fun stuff, and enjoyed my birthday cake January 2nd. And so I'm probably like 3 or 4 pounds heavier than I'd ideally be. And, you know, I got a little love handle action going on. But I'm like, well, I can lose that in 2 seconds. And I didn't stress out about it. And I felt so much better. And life is good. It didn't end when I got a little bit over where I wanted to be on the scale. How weird is that?
World.
So I think that maybe that's the key. Maybe it's experience. Maybe it's going right, because we fear the unknown. And the best way to tackle that is to head straight into it.
Well, and another thing is I've never lost weight until this year.
Oh,
well, maybe last year.
Okay.
Yeah. I've always, done heavy working out, heavy dieting.
Yeah.
But I think that, this is the final time where I've let go.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna hyperfixate on all of this. I'm gonna let my body do its thing. I'm gonna eat right, listen to my body, and I'm just gonna go teach my fitness classes. And then I started dropping weight fast.
Isn't that wild?
And like I would be working out for 6 months to a year, seeing no results, and it's because my brain wasn't in the right spot.
Right.
It's so much to do with manifestation too.
Yeah, I was going to say, which
if you're manifesting that you're fat, you're big, you're never going to get fit, you're never going to get better, you're going to be stuck in the same. You are
right, and you could be working out and eating right, but you are telling yourself that your reality is contrary.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to manifest. It's freaking wild.
Isn't that crazy? Like you think that abs are made in the kitchen. You have to hit the gym, but you also got to get your mind right.
Yes. Abs are made in the kitchen. So reality's made in your brain.
That's gonna be a new quote.
Yeah, bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you teaching? What
I teach Pilates and bar classes.
I love that.
So bar, do you know what bar is?
Tell me.
Okay.
Tell the audience. I totally know. I know everything about it, but tell the audience.
So it's a mix of like yoga, Pilates, and dance exercises.
Oh, cool. So a lot of movement and stretching.
Yes.
And poses?
No.
Is there? No, it sounds like it would be mostly movement.
I mean, okay. It's a full body workout.
Yep.
Head to toe.
Yep.
You get all the little muscles that you typically don't get when you're doing traditional weightlifting, because you're doing weird dance exercises.
Right.
Moves,
so you're getting the fast twitchy.
and you're not stopping. It's constant movement.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a HIIT workout.
Okay.
And you're keeping up with the beat and the tempo.
Yeah.
And it's just like burns the crap out of all those muscles. And you're only using like 3-5 pounds weight at the most.
Right.
But you're in it. You feel like you're lifting 100 pounds.
Oh, I'm sure. And the cardio's got to be awesome on that too.
Yeah. It's not the highest one, but I hate.
Yeah, I'm not a cardio fan either.
But I've noticed
I don't want to run.
That has gotten a lot better since I've been doing that all the time.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, there's still room for improvement, but I hate the treadmill. I'll do the Stairmaster, I suppose.
I like the Stairmaster. I'm like, okay, I'm getting my butt. That feels good. I know.
Yeah.
I'm
and there's a little,
yeah.
Running
is.
I used to actually force myself to run
when I was a kid. It's the only way to run.
It's true.
Otherwise, I'm not doing it. I have to force myself.
I liked punishing myself when I was a kid, so I'd make myself go on runs and.
Oh gosh.
But now that I have a choice, I'm not running.
Not running. No. Yeah, Stairmaster's good. I like the bike. I love the bike.
It hurts my butt.
Yeah,
I want to bring like my own pillow.
Yeah,
then I'll do the bike.
Yeah. But at least you're getting. But this is a good way of getting in cardio.
Yeah.
Without having to go punish yourself.
So full body workout. Also, a lot helps with a lot of back support. So I used to do heavy weightlifting all the time, and there's a point where I would just somehow injure my back at the gym every 3 months, and I'd have such a long recovery time. And it's so hard to get yourself back into the gym,
rinse and repeat.
Because as soon as you do, something again happens with my back, and then you have to take time off, and it was so draining.
Yeah.
But then I figured out this bar stuff. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel great. Energy. My back doesn't hurt anymore. Like I'm also strengthening it. I also feel like I'm at a point to where I can go back to weightlifting now.
Oh,
I feel like I've strengthened my back enough, and I can reintegrate it back into my schedule.
Cool.
So I'm a little excited for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'll be fun.
That's cool.
But yeah, great overall workout.
That's so good. So you're teaching both the Pilates and bar. Mm-hmm. That's cool. How often do you do that? And what's the...
It was Monday through Friday. Now I'm going to start teaching at Move Fitness too.
Oh, nice.
So Sunday through Friday.
Nice.
So I teach all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say you have Saturday off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm at the coffee shop. So.
Oh, then you're at the coffee.
No days
see,
off.
I never go in on Saturdays. I'm a weekday guy. Well, and now you know why, because I hang out on Coeur d'Alene on the weekend. I'm hanging out
Coeur
at home.
d'Alene's so much better though.
It's
Spokane's
true.
so ghetto.
I know. How weird is that?
I know, we're so close.
So
also,
close.
Liberty Lake trips me out. You know, homeless people everywhere. You get into Liberty Lake, nothing.
No, it's like Idaho has infected that part of Washington just enough to be like, there's an invisible barrier here.
Well, you know, you want the Washington laws, but you want the Idaho people. So the rich people made Liberty Lake.
Yep.
To where they have their own laws.
It's totally true.
Own laws, whatever.
Because it is. Liberty Lake is so clean, so nice, and it feels like Idaho.
One homeless person, but it's like on the freeway exit.
Yes.
Yeah, by the Safeway over there.
Yeah, by the Safeway. Yeah. Yeah, because I remember I had not been over here because I was in Western Washington. And so we came to Spokane a couple times, and I'm like, Spokane's kind of ghetto. Spokane's like Tacoma. It grows on you. There's a charm to it.
It's a big city with small city stuff in it.
Totally.
And that's like, what are you going to do?
Right.
All there is to do in Spokane is go out to eat.
Yeah.
And maybe go bowling.
Yep.
Or hiking. But if you've done all the hikes here 100 times, it gets boring. You have to try
and that's
more.
a question. I didn't even ask that. When you guys came over from Russia, did you settle in Spokane?
Yeah.
Oh, so you've been here since...
we've had family here.
Okay. Yeah.
So I
think you mentioned that, and it just like
yet.
totally went over my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to leave Spokane eventually.
Okay.
Actually, it's a great town.
Yeah.
Not like town, but like what it's surrounded by. So many lakes, so many mountains.
Oh, yeah.
I love the outdoors around here. I have seen almost all of it already because I grew up around it.
Yeah.
So like if I do move, I still need that nature and scenery.
Yes.
I cannot move to the Midwest.
No.
With the flats. I will go crazy.
You would go nuts.
But I am also kind of sick of the Spokane vibe.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like there's a lot of negative connotation. And it's just, I feel like it'd be like a new beginning.
Yeah.
But you also can't use moving as an escape from your life in your reality. So I'm like letting myself catch up to that first.
Yeah.
You know, because if I try to move to a different place, it's not just going to solve all my problems.
Because wherever you go,
they're going to follow you.
There you are.
So,
yeah.
But, you know, I want to see new things.
Yeah.
I can't live in Spokane my whole life.
No, you got to get out and experience.
There's more out there than that.
Yeah.
So,
exposure is the best medicine.
I've done some traveling, but,
yeah,
you know.
Where have you been?
I've been to Mexico.
Which part?
Cancun.
Oh, yeah, Cancun.
For a week with my family.
Yeah.
Mostly the touristy side, but we went to go see like Chichen Itza.
Yeah,
the
cool. That had to be cool. I still want to do that. I've never done that.
It's so fun. If you stand at the bottom of it and you clap,
it
echoes at the top.
Yeah.
The pyramids are so crazy. We could talk for hours.
Oh my gosh. Well, and what they just found out about the stuff under the
Great Pyramids.
Yeah. 2,000 feet in the ground.
Have you ever heard this theory where it's an energy source?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure have.
The takes, you know, they pump the energy. Also, if scientists did some research to go back to like see where the world was before the tectonic plate shift to around where the pyramids were built, and the amount of accuracy to where it with the stars
with
and
Orion's belt
and the magnetic surface of the earth, like it could draw energy from the ground. There's also like a chute in the pyramid that's like vertical.
Yes.
And humans can't really walk in there. There's no like
What's
access point. It's got to be for something else.
Right. And there is another
sure they didn't
chamber.
randomly put it there.
And
with it being so specific, there's no way that's random.
No. And there's a chamber that doesn't have any access points, right? Because the shaft, they can run a cable up there and figure out.
Yeah, but there's two.
There's another one that there's nothing. And they haven't even like tried to drill into it to figure out what's like, just do like a little, like, I don't know, small little hole.
I've heard that.
Figure it out.
It's also really hard to explore the pyramids. That's why it took them so long, because the Egyptian government, they don't.
Oh yeah,
it's so hard.
They've got that locked down
to go in there. Have you heard of Graham Hancock?
I love Graham Hancock.
My boyfriend talks about him all the time.
He's so good.
Have you seen the Ancient Apocalypse?
So I still need to watch all of it. Rachel loves season 1, and she's a couple episodes in.
I watched like an episode, but I need to watch more. It's so interesting.
It is. Well, and
but like they won't allow him to go in there.
No,
because he's too controversial.
Yeah,
he's gonna say something that they don't want to be said.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that kind of goes to your point earlier about government and all the different institutions. Controlled. Everything's controlled, and they want their narrative to be
the narrative.
The narrative.
Yeah.
So as soon as there's something that's contradictory, no matter how solid it is and obvious it is, they're going to shoot that down.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, so that was your Mexico trip.
Yeah. I've been to Costa Rica.
Oh, you have?
I went with not my class, but like a group of people from my school.
Yeah.
After my junior year.
San Jose?
So we actually went everywhere.
You did?
It was.
I'm so excited because I love Costa Rica.
Have you heard of EF Tours? So we had a tour
guide,
and we did like educational stuff, and we went everywhere. We went to the Pacific side and the Atlantic side. We went to San Jose, the middle. Cool. We went, saw some history, did a bunch of cool things, some zip lining.
Oh my gosh.
Some waterfalls.
Yeah.
We planted mangrove trees.
Did you?
Yeah, it was so fun.
How long were you down there?
We were there for a week, 9 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 days is good.
So something to do every day, different hotel almost every night.
Yeah.
You know, lots of driving.
If it was just me, I would have moved to Costa Rica after my first trip there.
So pretty.
I love Costa Rica.
The Pura Vida vibe.
Pura Vida.
It's so
good. We have
peaceful.
Expat friends that moved down there, and they're on the Pacific side, about 5 hours from San Jose.
Well, they're the only country with no standing military. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. So don't mess with Costa Rica. They don't want to mess with you back.
That's good. Care.
What blew me away, the two things, was that 70% of Costa Rica's population lives in San Jose.
Oh, really?
Or at least that area. And where our friends are, they hadn't even had electricity or paved roads until 5 years before they moved there. So just the pure, pure life, Pura Vida. Yeah, because they haven't been corrupted yet, and everybody just gets to chill and just be. Yeah, Costa Rica's got a vibe that I just want to be in all the time. So yeah,
magnets all those people there.
Yeah.
Well, with other countries, cultures, such a big. I love seeing other culture.
Yeah.
You know how they've been living this whole time. Food. What do they eat?
Yeah. Well, and how do they be?
Their life? Yeah.
Because and that's such there's a reason why people think Americans are arrogant, because we are. Right, we're the best country that's ever been. We got the best government. We got okay. Have you been anywhere? Have you? And everywhere else is just third world. We got third world hanging out here in the U.S., guys.
I don't know how accurate this is, but I heard somewhere that America is starting to be considered a third world country now.
It wouldn't surprise me.
So
if you just took the major cities and that's all you looked at, I would call it third world. Because infrastructure sucks, tons of homeless.
I know.
Housing. Even for regular people.
Growing. All these other countries are technologically advancing like crazy.
Yeah, we got here and we're like, okay, this is good. And everybody passed us by and we're just
okay.
Yeah, we're still good, guys. No, we're not.
We'll let you have guns.
Right. So, yeah,
we're done. We did our thing.
I do like the gun thing.
It is great. Jen and I have been looking at if we were to leave the country and move somewhere else, where else would have similarly good laws. And
yes.
Not really.
Yeah. Well,
that kind of sucks.
That's what we got from.
We do have the best freedoms than all the other countries
when they're actually
implemented
correctly and not stepped on. But my grandma, very old school, very we had all of our babies at home, midwife, all that sort of stuff. She's like, well, what? You need to be in the hospital. You don't know what could go wrong. She's worrywart to the 10th degree. When we went to Costa Rica, well, what about all the drug lords and all the,
you're gonna get kidnapped.
Rachel's going to get kidnapped. And what if something happens?
I'm so surprised my parents still let me go.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was just I can't. Well, they told me I had to pay for it. So I think they believed that I wouldn't be able to pay for it.
Yeah.
But I did.
Nice.
So they had to let me go.
That's so good. How old were you when you went?
I think 17.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. 17.
Cool. Yeah. Costa Rica's a good one.
But that's the first thing they really let me do.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was I'm taking this opportunity and running with it.
Well, and you got that taste of freedom. And then, you were out of the house shortly thereafter anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're kind of, why they kicked me out is their rule is, if you're not in school, you have to pay rent.
Okay.
Understandable.
Yeah.
But I finished school early and I was a minor.
I was going to say.
They try to charge me rent. I was like, I'm not going to pay your rent.
No.
And they like try to put their food bill on there. I was like, I work all day, every day. I don't eat at home.
Right.
I get my own food.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing?
Right.
Like, are you trying to get rid of me? So and I used to lie to my parents about like where I was going, you know, because I was only allowed to hang out with girls mostly.
Yeah.
You know, if I hang out with a boy, I'm gonna come home pregnant, of course.
Of course.
So many pregnancy and abortion accusations from my mother.
No way.
Like ever since I like started developing.
Yeah.
Just like one time, like somebody picked me up, and my mom just came up with her own clue. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I knew it. You were pregnant, and then you just went to go get an abortion, and I just can't believe." And she just like go on these crazy stuff. I think my mom's a pathological liar. She lies about everything.
Does she?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's got to be her protection mechanism for some reason.
Well, and she also does like a lot of half truths. She'll exaggerate things.
Yeah.
Like she tells people I do hard drugs like meth and fentanyl and stuff.
Oh, you totally look like a meth user.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful, glowing.
Yeah.
That's the typical
also,
meth dealer.
I'm a drug dealer. Another thing she says, I owe the IRS like $10,000.
What is she on?
I don't know.
Is she the meth user?
I did do my taxes wrong a couple times.
I mean, who doesn't?
So,
70,000+ pages of the tax code. We all get it wrong.
That's where she got her conclusion from. They also tell people that I owe them tens of thousands of dollars. I do technically owe them a couple $1,000s.
Okay.
Because they said that they're not going to pay anything for me, and so.
All right.
But I'm not paying back.
No, and loans to family never work. That's a bad idea.
But I did kind of ruin it for my siblings because now my parents won't let them borrow money.
Oh, nice. Nicely done. You're actually helping your siblings in that case.
Yeah. They don't need their money.
No.
It's blood money.
No. Okay, so let's. I want to come back to the family thing. I want to put a button on the travel.
Oh yeah.
So Mexico, Costa Rica,
and then Canada. I hop over there all the time.
Yeah, I mean, why not? We're right.
Calgary.
Rachel just went.
So pretty.
I didn't even know Banff existed.
Really?
It looks gorgeous.
She went winter then.
She went mid-January.
I've been there in the winter. I want to go back in the summer.
It's
just as pretty in such a different kind of way. Canada is just gorgeous.
Canada is gorgeous.
Been to Vancouver, that kind of area, like Canada, Vancouver.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm not going up to Canada, but I'll be in that area in Washington.
Redwood Forest, California.
Oh, California. Yeah.
West, a lot of Washington coast, Oregon coast. I've been to Yellowstone, Wyoming.
See, I still need to hit Yellowstone.
I went there when I was really young. I'd want to go again.
Maybe, appreciate it more.
And then this year we're probably gonna go to the East Coast.
Cool.
Some family lives over there. My very first baby cousin was born last December.
I love
December, so we're gonna go see some family and see New York and whatnot.
Oh, I was gonna say which part.
Well, they live in Maryland.
Oh, but everything's close.
They said come see us for 2 days, borrow the car, go see DC, go see New York, go do your thing.
Cool.
So we're gonna try to make a trip out of it.
Yeah.
It'll be super fun.
Yeah.
But I love travel. Definitely
it's so fun. And I take it Jaden does too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I wish I had all the money in the world so I could just travel all day, every day. That could be a job.
Be an influencer.
Everybody's doing it. Everyone's trying. That's kind of what I was thinking because I want to stay in fitness.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask. What do you want to do?
Everybody's trying to, like, the easiest way, everybody's trying to be an influencer. So I'm trying to figure out how can I be different? Because everybody wants to be a gym influencer. Everybody wants to, be a personal trainer. How am I going to be different? Yeah. How is my service going to be better than everybody else? How am I going to gain the following and stuff?
Yeah.
What I think I want to do, like some kind of program to where, so I've struggled my whole life trying to figure out what's the right thing for me.
Yeah.
And everybody's body type's different.
Yep.
Everyone, how their metabolism work is different. So I want people to be able to come. We sit down and we just figure out exactly what your body needs.
Yeah.
And curate what you like, what your goals are. And so there's not that years of trial and error, guessing, frustration, no results.
Right.
Just like but
that's going to take... touch that stove and you want to help people avoid it and get it right the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't want that years of pain and suffering,
Well, and that is the uniqueness, right? That's the angle. That's you. And that's every time I've thought, okay, well, how do I get the following? What's my special thing? You are the special thing, Sophia.
Yeah.
And there are going to be people that are going to see a post, know you, whatever the thing is, and go, something about her vibe that I dig. Well, and you're going to attract the right people. That's as the most authentically you that you can be. That's how it happens.
And when I started my fitness research, it's when it was the most toxic on the internet. So
bad.
Where I got the eating disorder thing is one time I saw this like kind of post. This girl, she's like 300 pounds, severely. And now that I'm thinking back, the after photo was a completely different person.
Oh, but no. You got.
The thing was like, the caption was, I stopped eating for a whole year and now I look like this. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the answer.
The trick.
So I think that's where
you internalized it.
It hit me, where I kind of like, where the switch flipped.
Yeah.
But so much like wrong information.
Oh, so much wrong information.
Like, I can't even remember it all.
Yeah.
So many things I did wrong. And that was like, that's not actually how you be healthy
and
stuff. So.
Right. Well, and I love using the gym as the metaphor for basically everything in life, right? Because you have to show up. Mm-hmm. You have to put in the work.
Yeah.
You have to be okay being uncomfortable. Right. The whole no pain, no gain thing. Yeah. You can't just go drop your body off at the gym, come back later and pick it up. You have to be the one experiencing it and putting in the work.
You have to do the hard stuff.
And no one size fits all. You got longer limbs, then you got more leverage points that you're going to have to figure out. The people that are all, I can do 200-pound bench press or whatever. That I have no idea what the number is.
Yeah, but go arm wrestle a farm kid.
Totally.
And they're going to whoop you up.
My dad, again, 5'10" on a good day.
Yeah.
Short little stubby arms. He can bust out push-ups all day, every day, nonstop. I've got these long, I'm 6'2". I have a wingspan of 6'5". It takes me twice as long just to go down and up as it does my dad. So I'm not doing as many as my dad.
Well, have you seen like rock climbers versus bodybuilders?
Oh, yeah, those are awesome.
They're even stronger than the bodybuilders.
Yes.
And they're like half their size.
Yes.
I just love those videos.
I love those videos. There's the one where the guy dresses up as the janitor and they're doing all the deadlifts.
Anatoly?
Yeah. Anatoly. Yeah, it's Anatoly. And I'm like,
I clean here. Can I clean real quick?
And he just like
these fake weights. No, they're real. Are you sure they?
It's so good.
Their ego dev is so good.
Just instant.
You see them cry.
Yeah, the soul just like drained from them. It's so good.
This kid just what?
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, it makes that's good motivation. That's what I want to be able to do. Yeah. I want to not look like I can do it and just
like the calisthenic build.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and that quick rabbit hole. I think that's the most important. The aesthetics are great. And obviously I want the aesthetics, but I just want to feel good and be able to do whatever the thing is that I want to do.
And like, if you want to be a hiker, you want different kind of muscles and build than if you wanted to, I don't know, ice skate or something.
Totally.
You know?
Right. Or like gymnasts, man, those guys, when they're up on the, what's the rings? Are they called the rings? I don't know. My lats, as soon as I think about it, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, my shoulders, my arms, my everything hurt. But man, and they've got like no legs.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, they're like, 5'3". So that kind of helps. They're compact. But yeah, they've got arms for days and back and chest. But
and they make it look so effortless too.
So effortless.
I'm like, stop.
But is that what I want? No, I'm not getting up on some rings.
I did used to really want to be a gymnast.
Did you?
My mom was one. Both my aunts were gymnasts.
Oh, yeah. Is that another like vodka in the blood? You got gymnast in there?
They came from Russia later because my mom was later able to invite her sisters and her mom to come over.
Yeah.
So they came like 5 years later after we got here. And like meeting my aunts, I wanted to be just like them. And she was like such a good gymnast. She brought all her medals as like this big box.
Oh,
and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
That looks so fun.
Did you ever try?
My mom wouldn't let me.
What?
And I think my mom and I were in competition our whole life. And she compared herself to me. So I don't think she let me do gymnastics because she wasn't that good.
Oh.
Her sisters were way better than her.
Yeah.
She was like the last person in her entire team to be able to do the splits.
Oh, yeah.
So that, and I don't know. They never let me do anything.
That's great. Okay, so
I did do volleyball though since like 4th grade.
Oh, do you still play?
I wish I did more. Occasionally here and there.
Yeah.
But no.
Volleyball's great.
I want to start an adult team.
That'd be awesome.
Because Spokane has such a huge volleyball community.
Yeah.
They do random tournaments all the time.
Yeah.
You just got to build your team.
Totally. Cool. Do you have people that you could think of that you're like, I want this person on the squad?
Yeah. Like a couple of people.
Make it happen.
Yeah. But
yeah, I wish I played
finding the time and
basketball.
actually doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The time thing. Well, if we put down our phones.
Everyone's schedule's different.
Everybody's schedule is different.
That would be like the trickiest part, is getting everyone to have a time that works for them.
Yeah.
Like I could go hit the gym and hit some balls like whatever time I can, but you know, getting 6 people together is a different story.
Well, because do they have a partner? And do they have kids? And what does the work schedule look like? And man, doing stuff as an adult, it gets a little tricky.
I know you don't see your friends every week.
No.
You know, you hang out once a month.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, when did this happen?
I know we look so forward to game night. We have game night once a month where there's about 20 of us that get together. And it's like, I get to see people instead of my children. Yay. Yeah.
No, I'm sure
it's
you
just
love
a different.
Them,
I do.
every day.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Except
you
for
need
when
some people your age.
Well, yeah.
You know, you can't talk to people all day and not go crazy.
No. Okay, so that's a good loop back. So we did the travel. Actually, before we closed that.
Yeah.
So you're going to go visit the East Coast.
Yes.
If you were to get out of Spokane, do you have a I think this is where I would land, or I still need to go explore more?
So Jen and I were just today. I really want to get into surfing, and so is he. And we're both snowboarders.
Yeah.
And we snowboard already.
Cool.
And so we're like, we need somewhere where within an hour we can get to the beach.
Yep.
And we can get to a good mountain.
Yep. That kind of puts a limit to your places.
2 best places we found: California.
Stupid expensive.
And Chile. Santiago, Chile.
Oh, yeah.
They have the Andes mountain range.
Yeah.
And they have a wonderful coast right
yes,
there.
they do.
And the capital is right in the middle of both.
Cool.
So we're doing some more research into that.
Yeah. And Chile would be good.
You know, have to learn Spanish.
Yeah,
we're also looking at jobs and stuff. Like the best way would be to have an American job.
Yep.
Have an American paycheck.
Yep.
Because the money there
they
will
want
go
you
such
there
a
so
long way.
bad.
But also their touristing is starting to boom really big right now.
Yeah.
They're looking for more stuff to do for tourists. But that's like, we're going to have to go into a new country, start a business, and
so one of you at least finding a good remote American gig.
Yeah.
And then moving down to Chile, and then you could open something touristy.
Just, go
that
surf.
That would be
go snowboard.
Yeah. And that's a pretty extreme elevation change too.
Oh yeah.
Pretty quick.
But also, it doesn't get above 85 over there.
Really?
There's no 90-degree scorching hot weather.
Yeah, because they're far enough away from the equator that it's actually probably the opposite of us, isn't it? How are their winters?
We're a lot further from the equator.
Oh, we are.
I don't know what their winters are like in the city, but their mountains get a lot of snow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're right there on the coast too. So they're just getting. I mean, it's like the Rockies here, right? Like you have that little bit of inland and then big old mountains that just collect all the snow.
East Coast snowboarding and skiing is
no,
it's horrible.
It's horrible. You have to go up to Canada from there. Yeah,
we've been doing Schweitzer this year, and it was so good this year.
Well, last year was terrible.
I know. I had a season pass last year, and I went 3 times.
Oh no!
But whatever.
I've always wanted to get back into snowboarding. I haven't done it since. Oh gosh, it's been 20 years. No, it's been more than 20 years. Oh gosh, I'm so old.
Try it again. Go.
I should. I actually have a couple boards in the garage. I just need to get bindings and boots.
Oh, it's past. Schweitzer was doing a cancer day where tickets were only $20 and everything was going straight to a cancer.
Oh,
charity.
that's cute.
But it's past. So
it's gone. Dang. I was gonna say the season's got to be thinking about wrapping.
Go to Mount
up.
Spokane.
Yeah.
If you're not a pro or anything.
Oh, I'm definitely not a pro.
Then you go there. The tickets are cheaper.
Yeah.
But if you you want to get some good snow and some
and you'll appreciate it.
You would want to go to Schweitzer.
It's like going to the public golf course and like, I don't care. And then going to the nice fancy golf course. And it's like, unless you know what you're doing, you're wasting your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to find people that snowboard well.
Yes.
Because there's
a lot of skiers. But
well, also I wouldn't mind a skier at my level. You know, I'm not particular to just snowboarding.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I could have a skier friend.
Right.
But since there's so many close mountains here, everyone snowboards and skis here. You know, everybody at least goes once a year.
Right.
Everybody
it's
has
part
their
of the culture.
Equipment. Yeah. Everybody, but not many of them, you know, go almost every
good.
week and are good and can keep up. And once you're really good, you know, the hardest part is going slow.
Yes.
That's when you catch your edges. That's when you fall.
Yeah.
And so when you're going with people that are not that good, you're going to keep falling. You're falling.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I used to board when I was a teenager. I just need to get back into it. It was funny because I had a bunch of buddies that were skateboarders and they couldn't snowboard.
Interesting.
And vice versa. Then I had some buddies that were snowboarders and we were like, we can't skateboard.
Just time.
Anything's just time.
Yeah.
You just gotta be willing to
I used to suck at snowboarding.
Go through the learning curve. I like that you guys do that together. And I like that game plan. Be within an hour of both. And the surfing would be cool.
Oh, I've always wanted to surf when I was little.
Yeah.
Something about the ocean.
Oh, I just need water.
I think actually that we're supposed to be near water.
Well, yeah.
We're 80% water. And I think, you know, elements attract.
Yes.
And I think we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, and naturally you want to be near water because, you know, where are you going to get your water from? It doesn't just come out of the tap.
Yeah. I mean, at a minimum, a life source, right? Like need water. We have to have water. Yes. So there's that piece. But to your point, there is an energetic pull there of.
I think it's a little bit of all.
We're made of it. The moon, which impacts all of the tides and everything. It impacts us. I think that's so cool. It's so cool. And I took a nice hot shower this morning. I didn't have to compete with my teenager for the water that he always takes from me. But that's my favorite part about living here is Lake Coeur d'Alene's right there.
Huge.
It's huge. There's Sandpoint. We have so much water around us. So if you want to go to a river, if you want to go to a lake, if you want to.
You could go lake hopping here.
You could go lake
Hauser, Newman.
Yeah.
The one in Sandpoint, Coeur d'Alene.
Which Ponderay.
Oh yeah, Ponderay. There's Bear Lake.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Within 3 hours, you could get to like 10 different places.
And there is something even. The ocean itself is pretty magical. Yeah. I mean, you can have the lakes and the rivers, but there's something about
you just get this vibe when you go to the coast.
Well, I think there's perspective too, because it's like you just look and it's like it's just water. Nothing. There's nothing. It's just water. It's massive.
That's scary too.
It is.
We've explored more space.
Right, than our oceans.
Which is crazy.
What's down there?
And
then that goes into all the theories. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this was a real conspiracy theory or if it's really true, but so I heard somewhere that NASA used to explore the ocean before they started going to space. And the conspiracy theories, they found something and they're like, oh, we're not going to explore that anymore. Let's go to space.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of what used to be called UFOs and are now UAPs. A lot of the military stuff is like the Navy being out, off the coast, and those UAPs are coming in out of the ocean.
Yeah.
So it's not outer space. So what the heck does that mean? Well, it's down there.
Well, we're still discovering new species.
Right.
All the time.
Which is so cool.
Also, did you know color changes under the water? I saw this video, and the deeper and deeper you go, there's like a picture compared to true color.
Yeah.
And how the colors change the deeper you get into the water.
Oh, that's cool.
That was interesting.
Oh, that is interesting. Is that
I think it's about light and the spectrum. And
the light spectrum. Yeah. Well, and everything vibrates, right?
Yeah.
If I don't say it, I'm in trouble. Energy is information that vibrates.
You should rename your podcast that.
I might have to. Yeah. Main character. Yeah. Have it like as the subtitle. So that makes sense because you're getting the light is able to penetrate less. Oh, yeah. Anyways, interesting. Okay. So that's where you would go. Okay. So button placed on travel. Okay. Back to family.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay. So you were talking, and like, I feel bad that I had to circle back out of it and come back because I'm like, this is fascinating in and of itself. Mom's always, you feel like mom was competing against you. Do you, tell me about your siblings really quick. Yeah. Ages, boys, girls, what have you got?
The one after me is my brother.
Okay.
He turned 18 this year. His birthday is actually the 3rd of January.
Oh, good. So okay. All right. Him and I could celebrate together. Cool.
And my sister is 16.
Okay.
She'll be 17 in August this year.
Cool.
We're all pretty close.
Oh, yeah. All pretty close in age. So. Yeah, that's great. But, do you guys get along?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My brother.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, so I used to live in Jaden's mom's apartment.
Yeah.
Now I recently moved to my uncle's house, so I live in his basement.
Nice.
And my parents also try to charge my brother for rent, so he moved out, so he lives with me again.
Oh, cool.
But my sister, she would live with us, but my parents are taking her to court.
What?
There's a whole story in that they've taken me to court too.
What? Okay, all right, okay. Your parents might be a little crazy.
A little bit. Maybe a smidge. So it's just like an at-risk youth case. They just try to prove to the court that this child is at risk.
Yeah.
They need a little extra motivation to follow the rules or whatever. And you would never need a lawyer in that case if you're the parent, you know?
Right.
But they're hiring a lawyer and going into debt so they could sue their own children.
That's wild.
It's insane. And also the guy, I hate him.
Oh, yeah.
The smug look on his face, you know, the way he talks to you. Yeah. It's just like.
Well, that's kind of attorneys in general. They're all kind of douches.
Like, who goes up against children?
Right.
That's also what.
Well, what is, if it goes in your parents' favor, what does that mean? What's it going to do?
Well, the big thing right now is the only thing that's really going to go. They really hate my uncle because he kind of tried to tell them what to do with how to parent.
Yeah.
He's the one who's pointed out that, you know, they're kind of doing something fucked up. Because for the most of my life, you know, my family's like, this is okay.
Yeah.
You know, this is supposed to be happening like this. They're great parents. They brought you into this new country. They're providing you this life.
Yep.
You have a roof over your head.
Yep.
You're eating.
You should be grateful.
You went to a private school.
Yeah.
Crying out loud.
Yep.
You know, like they do everything for you.
Yep. Gold star standard.
There's no way you can be
good parents.
Also in the Bible, you know, if you don't honor your parents,
you're it's one of the 10 commandments. Yeah. So is this? So are they suing? So they're suing your youngest brother. They've
my
sued
sister.
you.
And suing is a big word.
It's
just an at-risk youth case. It's just I'm using the word suing because they're actually using a real lawyer.
Right.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
But my brother, he's a boy, and the only boy. And
you brother
and
sister.
None of my uncles or aunts have had kids up until like this point, so we were the only ones. So he's technically like the bloodline carrier. So lots of special treatment for him.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him for anything. He's just a kid.
Well, yeah, he does. Yeah,
but he was
and if you're put up on a pedestal, you aren't gonna jump off.
I don't know. Yeah, you're not gonna go put yourself in harm's way when you're getting the gut end of the stick.
No, of course not. Milk that.
Yeah, no way. But he got the better end of the stick.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and boys.
Well, good for him. You know.
Yeah.
But me and my sister got the.
We have the exact opposite.
Really?
Well, you saw my daughter.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 boys, and then I got her. Oh, she's the princess. She gets everything, and she's just the exception to the rule.
Do it like that.
So. Of course, boys, whatever. Just dime a dozen.
Don't show your daughter like how she needs to be treated.
Yeah.
What her value is in this world. She will go and find someone else like you. You know, if you're not treating her well, she will go to someone who also doesn't treat her well.
Right. Isn't that?
And it's crazy. You set that standard.
Well, because, it's the environment that you're used to, and it's what you adapted to, and you know how to do the world that way. So you go look for the same thing.
Even if you're not doing it on purpose.
No. In fact, you think you're going to get the opposite.
Yes, but your brain will take you to the real, original, process it's in.
Yeah.
And then you're a year in and you're like, what the fuck? I'm dating my dad.
Yes.
How did I get here?
Oh man. It's scary how true that is.
I know. It's so weird.
Yeah. But again, awareness.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
It's all about
how you're doing what you're doing.
Seeing what's going on around you.
Yeah. Okay, so you get along with your siblings. Your brother's up on a pedestal.
My sister and I shamed.
So then how often, like, do you talk to your folks?
My parents know. I used to be a little in communication with them.
Yeah.
When both my siblings lived there.
Yeah.
Just so I could keep tabs or whatever. But
right.
Well, they now they randomly reach out to me with fake help cries and stuff like that. Like my mom texted me the other day freaking out, check your passport right now. If it expires, blah, 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 blah. Like, it'll be so hard for you to get a passport again. And I'm like, calm down.
Right.
Or like, come out for dinner or come talk. But I know how the dinner is going to go.
How?
You know, they're going to say their piece or they might apologize, say they're sorry.
Lead
like,
with the apology
if they really feel like they need to do that to get me back, just like say sorry, like, oh, we're sorry for everything that we did to you. They won't say anything specific. They won't admit into any. They'll just say, sorry we made you feel that way.
Yeah.
Sorry you felt like that.
Yeah. Such a good apology.
And they're like, you need us. Some kind of convince me that I need them back into my life, that I need to rely on them. They'll be like, oh, we could help you with this. One time they reached out to me. They're like, Sophia, I know you don't want to live with us, but if you really need help finding an apartment, we'll help pay for it. No, you won't.
No, you won't.
You're lying.
It's just a way to get you back under their thumb.
You just want me again.
That's so weird.
But they don't mean to do that. But they don't mean to do that too. No. Which is, it's hard to like accept it, but not at the same time.
Right.
Because I understand it, but I'm also still really angry at them.
Well, yeah.
But I understand their thought process and why they can't see anything different.
Yeah.
It's kind of sucks to be mad. I think I need to allow myself to be mad for a little bit and then get over it. But it's a process.
It's a process. Well, and I had such a good family growing up. Loved mom, loved dad, loved my brothers. Everything was together, cohesive. And I thought that's how it was always going to be. And then like in my mid-20s, I didn't talk to my dad for a year because he was in the throes of his addiction. And I just like not the person that for me, I needed to be away from him. And when you want to love somebody, but you can't, and hard. There's anger and there's everything else. And it's like,
and I seek their approval so bad. If I try to let myself come back to that, I'm just going to fuck myself. Let myself fall back right into all those habits.
Yeah.
Because one time even, it was really funny. I asked my mom, I was like, well, you guys do tell me terrible shit in my face. You tell me I'm worthless. You tell me I'm stupid. Like, what am I supposed to listen to? Because you also tell me that I'm supposed to listen to everything you say.
Right.
And I was like, I legitimately don't know what to listen to.
Yep.
And she's like, Sophia, you just got to know when to not listen to us.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, are you kidding me right now? She's like, your dad could say some bad things sometimes, but you just got to know what's right and wrong, you know? Don't listen to us when we're saying them. I'm like, how about you love me to your fullest content and just treat me like a human being instead of your property?
Oh, that's so wild. Well, and that's the
but that was also the first time of her admitting that they've done something wrong too. It's always been like, you made it up. It's not happening that way. Oh, well, other people have it so much. Other people have parents that are drug addicts.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you should be so eternally grateful.
Wow.
And I am. I am grateful.
Yeah.
I'm not grateful, you know?
Yeah.
But also, you guys could have done a little bit better job.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like, even if they just listened, you know, if they just had, like, if they were completely flawed and terrible, shitty people, but they had an open mind and they listened and they're able to take responsibility. Right. Completely different story.
Totally.
At that point, you know?
Yeah.
But.
Oh, relationships are so interesting. Dynamics are so interesting. Well, and that's like, is that, because boundaries are good, right? And it sounds like you have found some really good boundaries.
Yeah. They're unofficial. I haven't told them about.
Well, right.
They, on my birthday, actually, at 10 p.m., they showed up to my house calling. I'm like, no, I'm not going to come out. It's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was like a ploy to like, oh, well, we made an effort. She didn't come out to see us.
I was going to say, that's another
weird
power move.
But I'm like, that's so rude. Like, you don't tell me. Like, we don't talk.
Right.
At all. Maybe once every 4 months.
Right.
You will hear a word from me. But to just randomly show up, sure, it's my birthday, sure, I'm your daughter, but like
10 o'clock at night?
Like, yeah, like and so they'll do stuff like that. So when they can go and tell their friends, oh, I'm a horrible daughter. They went out all that way to Liberty Lake to come see me, and I just turned them away because I'm so horrible.
That's crazy.
So.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of crazy to see like all those people that are on their side. Like, do you ever take a step back and take a look at what these people are saying and like, okay, maybe they're a little crazy.
Right. Well, and I always have. I don't care how good the story is, how detailed it is.
Yeah.
But it is still that person's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They are going to have their own bias on it, all their flavor on it. What is the other person's story?
Yeah.
Because the other person thinks that they're the good guy in their story too.
Well, and technically, their kids are completely their responsibility. Right. How they are right now is totally how you raise them to be.
Yep.
And since when are all kids bad? You know?
Right.
Like, children aren't prehistorically bad.
No.
You know? That's the nurture part. That's like it's instilled in them.
Right.
You know?
Ooh, the nature versus nurture thing is awesome.
Oh, it's crazy.
Because all 4 of my kids, I'm like, I know you get like, obviously there's definitely nurture, 100%. That's in there. But the way that each one of them is unique, and I'm like, you guys all came from us. That's the DNA blend of Rachel and I, and we got you 4. Like, what?
Well, and me and my siblings all experienced our childhood differently.
Of course.
We were in the same house at the same time, seeing the same thing, but so totally different.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, family.
Family's crazy.
Yeah.
We've had like 3 different CPS cases. Parents have taken me to court. My sister's still in the court process right now.
How did yours go? Did you win, lose, draw?
Mine was so rigged. My sister, she got like 4 different hearings, and I even went on the stand and I like testifying against my parents. But mine, it was a one-set thing done, like 15-second communication. As soon as the judge heard that I've smoked marijuana, boom, cut clean. She's an at-risk. But my only rules were to stay in school, follow curfew, which is not that hard, but 8 p.m. curfew for a 17-year-old.
Oh, no. That would not have worked for me.
I was like, what? My sister gets a 10 p.m. curfew, though.
What?
Good for her. It's because she's in night school.
Okay.
So she gets out of school like by 9. So they have to give it to her. A little jealous.
And what does it say about your parenting if you have to involve the courts to uphold?
Exactly. Like you can't communicate with your children. Right. You have to bring them to court to tell them what to do. That's a low. That's a little low.
That's a little. I'm sure. Oh man.
And 2 of your kids. There's a pattern here.
There's a pattern. Right. I wonder what the common denominator is. Oh, maybe your parents.
Well, and I feel like I turned out pretty great.
Yeah, you're
right
awesome.
After them, you know, like I'm not a crippling drug addict and like selling my body on the corner. Like they said what I would drink.
Right. All those.
Like I'm pretty successful.
Yeah.
I would say. For my
you're
age,
doing. Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And like clearly.
Yeah, got a good head on your shoulders. Very.
Yeah,
very
I
socially
can't have
adept.
the jobs that I have. I was a meth addict.
No, yeah, you're Sophia.
Like that would have worked.
Oh man. Well, and again, it's so crazy what people, that judge and your parents, a little bit of pot. Give me a break. I say that
all the time. Also, I was like, if my parents just smoked a little bit of weed.
Yes. Well, that's I wish every world leader, like, can we grab Putin and Trump and Zelensky and Macron and get them all together with Snoop Dogg. Yeah. Get them all together with do some ayahuasca, do some mushrooms, do some something.
But also mushrooms and ayahuasca, it won't work if you're not in the right headspace. If my parents did go take shrooms right now, it would not work in my favor to say. Like it would only confirm their own beliefs.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I
actually don't know about that.
Maybe
that's an interesting conversation.
That would be interesting because set and setting, your mindset going into something and the setting in which you do it matters. But that's true for pot too.
Yeah,
I think that's true for
anything.
Yeah. It is right. Yeah. Like Are you drinking on your couch alone after a hard day at work and depressed?
Or are you socializing with some
friends? Are you
friends?
Socializing with some friends?
Beer pong or whatever.
Yeah. The setting matters
story.
for all of it.
Yeah.
Different outcomes. But yeah, that would be, I would love, you got Snoop Dogg on your phone? Can we give him a call? He's not a buddy.
I wish. Did you know actually I don't know what his title, the leader of Dubai or whatever.
Yeah.
He strict against no marijuana.
Yeah. Oh, they're super strict in Dubai.
A specific pardon for Snoop Dogg to come himself and smoke weed.
No way.
Do whatever. He got a whole special pardon just for him.
Cool.
You know how much influence that is? That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Also, you see what he did at the Olympics this year? He's
done
everything.
Watch the Olympics.
He's done.
That's true. He was.
And he just tried out all the random sports.
That's so cool. He's a social unifier.
Since we're on Snoop Dogg, he created his own kids show.
He did?
So he has grandkids. I saw this interview.
He has oh my gosh.
He has grandkids, and they were watching Coco Melon at his house. And he's like, I don't want to hear this garbage anymore.
Nope.
I'm going to make my own kids show. I'm going to be the star in the voice. So my grandkids can watch me instead of Coco.
That's so funny.
I thought that was great. I was like,
what a good grandpa.
I was like, that's awesome.
That is awesome. Oh, man. What would you do with Snoop Dogg as your grandpa?
I would have such a life.
He wouldn't be taking you to court. Oh, gosh.
That's too good.
I've always thought it was funny that him and who's the old white chick? Martha Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
The two,
that's such a unthought of combo, but
what an odd couple, but it so works. It's so funny.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, let's hear. We've done okay, so I'm curious. Out of the church, where are you at there? Where are you at on what's the spiritual? We talked a little bit about there has to be a God. What does the spiritual world look like?
Well, I've been floating these ideas around.
Yeah.
But listening to more the podcast and
other I know. I'm a bad influence.
They've just had such great thoughts and stuff. But this is what my conclusion that I have drawn to.
Oh, yeah.
I think that a mix of Autumn's and August, what they thought.
Yeah.
I think this world, we're not the only people on this planet. I think after we die, there's no heaven or hell.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's whatever you create your reality as.
Yeah.
Whatever you put your brain in is where you're going to be. Yeah. That's how it is when we are on this planet.
Right.
So, of course, it's going to be once we leave. And
it's kind of a cool concept,
the universe
isn't it?
is completely endless.
Right.
So what stops it from, you coming and living on a totally different planet?
Right.
With a different vibe.
Yeah.
And I do think you're on this planet to learn lessons.
Yeah.
And, the more lessons, if you don't learn the lesson that you need to learn, you're going to come back and relearn it again.
Lessons will be repeated until learned.
Yeah. I like the saying, God will keep sending you the same person to see if you're still stupid.
Yes. It's such a good line.
I've been telling that to one of my coworkers. She's keeping her that ex-boyfriend around. I'm like, God will keep sending him to keep seeing if you're stupid. She's like, I know, Sophia. Stop telling me.
Oh, shoot. Oh, I forgot her name. I'm so bad. Okay, we won't say it.
Okay.
She went to Bellingham, and is she back?
Oh, Emma.
Yeah.
No, she's not back yet.
Okay.
Oh, but I miss her.
Oh, man, I can't believe
we haven't found a replacement for her yet.
No, Emma's great. She was fantastic.
Oh, I love her. Great.
Yeah. That's my problem. Okay, really quick. So I think I've mentioned this before. I've moved around so much and I've met so many people that I'm really, really, really good at the first letter of people's names.
Mm.
But then beyond that,
I'm good with faces. I can
recognize, but then I'm like,
even from years down the road, completely change. I'll recognize a face.
Yeah.
Name's
gone though.
In and out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would have seen Emma and I would have been like, is she an Elizabeth? Is she an Ellie? Is she a Emma? Is she a... I know it's an E. Yeah. She's great. Okay. I like that. I like that take. That's a good take. Yeah. We're here for lessons. And
we're here to figure out, because my parents are at a completely different level of consciousness than I am.
Yeah.
And so if they never get out of that, they're going to be sent right back in.
Right.
To learn a lesson in a different way. I'm sure they're not going to repeat the same life.
Yeah.
but they're going to keep learning until they can come out of that consciousness. They're going to stay on planet Earth until they can level up and move on. And I get to go to a different place. Maybe a cool planet with only surfing and snowboarding.
That would be amazing.
And I think it's just whatever you create. I do think
you got to zero in on that. Okay, after I die,
I know,
I'm going to Jane's right there. You guys are just on a board 24/7.
I also don't think that there's nothing out there. I think there has to be some kind of greater life form, whether it's us living through us and in us, or whether it's some omnipotent being just floating up in the clouds.
Yeah. It's got to be something.
But I also think that no religion or idea is right or wrong.
Yeah.
Like my first thought coming straight out of religion is I did a little research on everything. And at the end of the day, they all have the same conclusion, Oh, yeah. Praying and manifestation is the same thing.
It is.
It's the same thing.
It is.
My dad did tell me I would get possessed by the devil and go to hell if I manifested, but
yes,
here I am.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look so possessed.
I know. Actually, in the church, when I was deep in the church, there was like a summer camp to where somebody told me that they saw a demon sitting over my shoulders, and we did this like whole thing to like get it like removed over me. People were like, I've had like another thing that like brings me back to Christianity a lot is I've had those like some crazy spiritual experiences.
Yeah, of course.
But also I think all the time, like, did I make that up? Like the placebo effect?
Oh, yeah.
Was it real?
Yeah.
Was it not? Because it was in a sense magical.
Yeah, well, and I think those all are real. So that idea of you get whatever you expect, right? If you think it's a heaven and hell thing, if you think it's a skiing and snowboarding all the time, or name the thing. Not skiing. What's the word? Surfing and snowboarding. That was going to bug me. Why wouldn't that? And we know that we can manifest here.
Yeah.
Pray. However you want to phrase it. So if you are so deeply entrenched in thinking you can speak in tongues, or thinking that there's demons or whatever it is, and especially the more people that buy into that and are manifesting that thing, why wouldn't it be real?
Yeah.
And so whatever the spiritual experiences are that people say, oh, I will always be Catholic because I experienced this. I will always believe in Christ because of this. I know Muhammad was the prophet because of X.
Yeah.
Like, of course you do. And of course you had that experience. Why wouldn't you have?
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
Another big thing is Christianity is an answer.
Right.
It's an answer to what's going to happen after.
Yes.
And it's so easy
it's comforting.
Yeah. You know what's going to go happen after.
Right.
You don't got to worry about it anymore.
Right.
You have the answer.
Yep.
But if you don't, what's going to happen after you die.
You're laying the path out in front of
that's a whole thing to consider.
Yeah. And that uncertainty
is scary. Terrifying. Am I going to burn in hell? Are the Christians right? Am I going to burn in hell because I didn't believe in God?
Yep.
Some people have they come to God at their deathbeds because they're just like, that's it, in case it's right.
Right.
Let me get saved real quick.
Yeah. I believe.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting.
But I think we make our own reality. And I think Christianity was made for the people that, they wanted comfort and like a legitimate answer to what happens after.
Yeah.
And they knew that if that's what they believe, that's what will happen after.
Yeah.
So none of it's wrong and none of it's right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, your higher consciousness will lead you to where you need to go.
Totally.
And everything happens for a reason.
And everything happens for
all the
That's why I loved when I had the pod, my guest cancel on Thursday. I'm like, I want to get one of these out a week, and now I don't have anybody.
Yeah.
And I had gone to a different. Normally, I go to Starbucks in the morning because it's close. I know the people. Well, Hannah, my first guest, she's my.
I can't hate too much.
You can't hate too much.
I mean, you need the Starbucks for the people that like the really sugary drinks. And you need the coffee houses for the people that like legit coffee.
Good coffee. Exactly. Yeah. See, it's different strokes.
Yeah.
For all the things.
Maybe you went to a different coffee shop.
Yeah, I went. I did something else. It threw off my coffee game that morning, and I was going in because my office is in Spokane Valley, which is why I swing by Liberty Lake, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys are amazing. And I'm driving down the road and it just started pissing down rain.
Yeah.
And I got over because the driver in front of me was driving me crazy. And then all of a sudden this flavor like goes through my mouth and I'm like, I really need a strawberry matcha. Oh, look, the exit's right there. And I'm already in the lane.
Oh no, might as well.
Yeah. Might as well. And so I come in and I was so excited to see you there. It's always like, you've told me the guy's name before. When it's somebody else that I'm like, I don't know these people. It's whatever.
They've never made my coffee before.
Right. And there's no connect. I mean, I can form a connection. I can get there. I'll get
anywhere,
but whatever. But you are a
They've
light.
Been established.
And you're so fun. And we always have great conversation. It's always so nice to see you.
Yeah.
And then when you said that you had been listening to the pod, so everything always happens for a reason.
Yeah.
It started raining right at the exit and I had that flavor pop into my mouth and like, otherwise this wouldn't have been happening today. And I just love the flow and the serendipitousness and the way that life just goes.
Well, like if my parents' situation ever happened, I would not be at all who I am right now.
Totally.
You know, if I didn't go through those hardships, I would also have to eventually go through that bad lesson when I'm older. As well, because this lesson was meant for me to go through. I needed to do it, and this is me coming out.
Right.
So, but like I would be a completely different person.
Yeah.
If I didn't experience.
And do you like who you are?
I do.
I love that.
I'm starting to.
Yeah.
It's a slow process.
You should.
It's hard. Yeah.
It is a pleasure.
There's still some hatred in there. I'm like,
it is a pleasure knowing you. So that's it's good to love yourself. You should.
It's a whole process.
It is a process. It's totally a process.
Well, like, and there's then points where like, okay, I think I love myself. And then you dig in deeper and you're like, okay, no, you don't fully love yourself. You don't fully trust yourself quite yet. There's still some work that needs to be done.
Right.
There's so many different levels to stuff. You're never fully done also, I think. No,
you're never a fully done project.
You have to grow. You have to keep growing.
Right.
If you're able to be fully done, then what's the point of life?
Totally. And I can't remember if I said this on one of my pods or because Rachel and I do a like sister pod, just her and I. But I had a conversation. Rachel, me, coworker, and his wife were having a conversation, and they're very, very Christian. And I was just kind of observing, and I got to the point where I'm like, not that they were being disagreeable and arguing, but they were definitely in their opinions, right? And I just sat back and I said, would any of you change your relationship with God? Your relationship with God?
Yeah.
No. You all enjoy the way that you interact with God.
How's it gonna get better?
None of you are going to convince the other that your way is right versus their way. And exactly that, because then it's kind of really a trick question, because you should want a better, more evolved relationship. And so back to the point that you were just making, I like who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm finally at that point where I'm not, fat Brandon's there or whatever the thing is. But at the same time, I like where I am. I like this relationship with myself.
Yeah.
But there's more. I want to keep growing. I want to see the better version. I don't know what that is, but I know there's more for me to grow into. And so it's a never finished project.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you stop growing, what's the point of life?
Well, right.
I think I just said that actually.
If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah. Just like when you're old,
stagnation.
As soon as you stop moving, your body will die.
Will die.
Once you get older.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's not crazy. It totally makes sense. But the concept's crazy.
Well, and you've got so much life ahead of you.
Oh yeah. I still got so much. I can't wait to see who I am in like 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
I hope I'm so cool.
You're so cool now. I'm like, man, you give just some more.
Well, my name means wisdom, actually.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
That's so fitting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Names fascinate me. Yeah, because they do. People end up adopting.
Yeah.
There's a reason you got named what you got. Do you know what that story is? Do you know where your parents got Sophia from?
Well, they named me. Well, my parents were really big on like what names mean and stuff.
Yeah. So they very intentionally.
My sister's name, or one of their names means God-fearing. I think it's my brother's.
Oh.
And I think my sister's name means joy or happiness, something like that.
Cool.
So they're very intentional about naming stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, but my name, they used that against me growing up. you're not living up to your name. You're not being very wise.
Gosh.
And they would just threaten me with it.
That's
like,
not nice.
We shouldn't have the name you that. You're not wise at all. And I was like, okay. Thanks,
yeah, Mom, Dad, I'm 6.
Thanks, Mom.
I still need some more life experience.
Yeah.
Be nice to me. Oh, gosh. Yeah, well, and I like that point, too, because you've gone through some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You did not have it easy breezy as a kid.
No.
Not with your folks. But you would not be the person that you are today without going through those experiences. That's why I've always had a hard time with regrets.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's definitely stuff that now that I know those things, I would do it differently.
Yeah.
But it formed me and taught me and got me to where I am. So how can I be mad at any of it? The good, the bad, the ugly, I'm just grateful that I had it, and here I am.
Yeah. Well, without bad, there can't be good.
Right. It's the whole I am not.
If it's never bad, when are you going to go feel good?
Right.
How do you tell the difference between high and low? There's never a high or a low.
Right.
It's just mundane life that's boring. I think
it's just boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I talked about that with Autumn, right? That's, to me, that I always like being able to reference stuff back in the Bible because I think it's very easily accessible for people.
Yeah.
And that is the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah.
Like, you have to, if you want the knowledge of God, if you want to experience, if you want to grow, if you want all of it, you have to get both.
Well, also,
you need the highs and lows.
Yeah. If you don't know both perspectives and you just look at it from one, how do you know it's right?
How do you know it's right?
Like politics. There's no right or wrong answer.
No.
But we just can't communicate with each other.
No. And everybody,
we can dogfight.
Well, you were talking about algorithms earlier,
right?
And how they're procured for us, and we're very much just getting our echo chamber. My really good buddy is totally on the other end of the political spectrum. And that's how we start our conversation is, what are you hearing in your echo chamber? Let's compare notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's so crazy. It's so actually crazy to me, like becoming an adult and seeing how so many other people legitimately base their friendships and relationships on what other people think politically.
Right.
Like a Democrat will literally not be friends with a Republican.
Right.
Even if they have the same exact interests, but they just believe in different politics, so they literally can't be in the same room together.
Right.
They'll just bite each other's ears off or something,
It makes no sense.
Like, you just not have a open adult conversation,
right.
Compare notes and
right. And respect.
Yeah, no one's right or wrong.
Right.
That's why there's all the sides.
And the political parties have swapped sides on so many things. Bullshit. You used to be union, now you're anti-union. You used to be pro-war, now you're anti-war. You used to be pro-government spending, now you're anti.
Whatever is going to get them the votes for that year.
Totally what's going to get them. Yeah, politics is so gross. And then we fall for it.
It's fun though.
It's
so entertaining.
It is. And by the way, my view is right. And
oh yeah, of course.
I've got it figured out.
But the Trump interviews are just so funny.
They are so
They're
funny.
so funny. I like was August's hysteria on like Trump is the Michael the Archangel. I was like,
I forgot.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
He's just there to just like cause some chaos.
Yeah, he's gonna come in. Yeah, tear it asunder.
Yeah, I just think it's funny.
Yeah, it is. Well, and
and since deleting Instagram, not seeing politics anymore, it's so great. I don't know what's going on, and I don't care. I can't control it. I can't change it.
No, and yet we get wound up by it.
Whether I'm there or not.
Right.
There's no reason to stress about it. There's better things to stress about.
And if you're not observing it, not choosing that reality, does it actually exist?
Yeah.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It's not in your
Another
awareness.
thing with like the internet being so huge is we're not meant to see all the bad things happening in the world all at the same. You're not supposed to know that.
No.
You're not supposed to have bad information constantly feeding and feeding and feeding. That's why we're so negative. That's why it's affecting our mental health so much.
And that does reinforce we're sinful. See, we're getting what we deserve. And
bad. It's not gonna be good. You keep thinking like that, it will never be good.
Was Syria the one that was? I think Syria just got overthrown, right? It had I can't remember his name, but
some prime minister got overthrown.
Yeah, I can see his face. Anyways, but they have a Christian minority, but he like let them be. He protected them, and now that he's been overthrown, they're getting persecuted. And man, social media, like I am always on Twitter. Twitter is not a good spot for seeing what's happening in Gaza or in Syria, because what people, or in Ukraine, Russia, like what people do to other people because they think they're right and the other people are wrong is insane.
Yeah.
One guy, it's probably too graphic. I won't go over it. Okay. It was gross.
Somebody did something bad.
Something really bad. And I'm just like, how can you have to dehumanize the other side yeah, put them down, elevate yourself, think you're right. And guess what? You're right.
We're all human though.
I know.
We all make the same stupid mistakes.
Isn't that?
Nobody's just better than everyone else.
No.
I mean, yeah, but no, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like, but no.
Like, you're probably better at your job than you are at my job. You know, and I'm better at my job than you.
I would have no idea. You know? You do a wonderful job at your job.
Oh, thank you.
I do a terrible. I would do a terrible.
Coffee.
You make wonderful coffee. Actually, you could probably do better at my job too. Yeah.
What do you do for work?
Commercial banker. Do loans for businesses.
I would just hand everyone out the money.
That's just what I want to do, which is why I'm not good at my job. You get money and you get money and you get money. That's how I would, do it. Somebody gave me a bag with, dollar symbol on it. I'd just be handing it out.
There was this one movie that I saw, and there was this banker. He was a new loan banker. He came in and he started giving out everybody loans to everything.
Yeah.
The small business workers and whatever. And for a second, the big guy was about to fire him. But then for somehow it changed their whole revenue thing, and they're getting a lot more money coming in. And they're like, oh, okay, wait. This is actually good.
That you want to go down a rabbit hole? That is exactly how that, what you just described.
Well, in broke people, you're making more interest payments. You're giving the bank free money because you can't afford the regular payment, and it's this endless vicious cycle. And everybody's in debt right now.
It's so bad.
That's why it's the silent depression. Not that the Great Depression hit everyone hard because there was no credit cards. The banks were just closed. But now everyone has a credit card. Yep.
And we have the highest amount of debt on credit cards as a society right now. It's crazy. And then when you consider that it's usually 15 to 32% interest on a credit card. And the way that, the bank traditional, quick rabbit hole, because I think it's fascinating. Traditional banking, somebody comes in with a deposit, you give them 2% interest. You loan their deposit out to somebody that needs to borrow it at 4% interest. The bank makes the difference. Everybody's happy. As long as the person pays the loan back, you can give the other person their deposit back when they want it. And that goes on for thousands of people and in and out and in and out.
But now everybody's printing money.
With that system to work, you can only loan out what you've taken in deposits. Now you have fractional reserve banking where you can take in $100,000 and you can lend out $1 million, right? You only need a very small percent of the deposits on deposit to be able to lend against. And then those same people, you bring in the deposit, you loan out the money. That person that you lent the money out to, that money comes and gets deposited back in the bank. Right? Because they went and spent it at the grocery store. The grocery store comes and deposits the money. And then they lend on that deposit. So they're lending on the same money. It's the most vicious.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Awful. Our system is awful.
Imagine everyone just try to pull out all their money in the banks right now.
Oh, they'd crash.
It would be anarchy.
It would be because the banks don't have it. Mm-mm. It would crash.
Not even the Federal Reserve has all the money.
Nope.
It's all electronic.
Yeah. I like that you've gone down.
The different rabbit holes.
I was going to say you've gone down all the conspiracy theories. Yeah. What is your favorite conspiracy theory? It's the one that you're like, this one's both totally crazy, and I kind of buy it a little bit. I
like them all.
They're all good, aren't they?
I love the Mandela effect. I heard, because I used to think my first original theory was the Mandela effect was so the government could see how much they can get away with rewriting history.
That's a good explanation.
But I also heard the theory from your podcast is that there's different alternate universes and you're bouncing back and forth. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
So I like that theory because there's different routes you could go and it could get really interesting.
Yeah. I think we talked Spicy Pizza Dreams with August. right? Where like when you're dreaming, you're either just having something influenced by the dreams that you had before, or you're bouncing into either future timelines or past timelines, or
it's so interesting.
It's so crazy.
You never know.
But that kind of makes sense. And you were talking earlier about seeing pictures of yourself and being like, oh, I look right, totally like not right. Yeah. So like, what if your consciousness was bouncing around and like it just
your brain can make anything up.
Oh man, it can make it that the Mandela one is, and there's always a new one that I hear about. I'm like, what? I am on like 20 timelines off.
It's so true. There was a cornucopia in the
there was a damn cornucopia on the fruit of a loom thing.
I love that girl that like went to her deathbed to find that T-shirt that had the cornucopia. She's like, I know it's real.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me.
You can't. Yep.
Yeah, that's great. That's
so good.
I would say that's my favorite.
That's your favorite one. Yeah. Okay. So, are there any things about Sofia that we have not explored that you want to explore?
I don't know.
The good news is, I mean, you said, I can't wait to see who Sofia is in 20 years. We could do this again in a year. Maybe that would be cool. Let's do that. See
where I've gone.
We'll see where you are in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, then, if there's nothing that we haven't uncovered on Sofia yet, that's burning. You know what my favorite last question is?
Yeah. What if the megaphone question?
Yeah. If you had a megaphone that could reach everybody, what's your message to the masses?
I would say, just keep living life. You know, like stop worrying about what's going on around you and just start living life.
Yeah.
Most people, there's some people that literally have never left the city that they were born in and never seen anything. I think my thing is just go see the world. Like leave your box and just go. Stop putting yourself in a box. Stop staying in the same place. You know, we're not meant to be sitting still.
No.
Yeah. I'd say that. That's what I would say.
That's so good. I love that advice. Cool. All right, Sofia, this was a blast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. I'm glad to be on.
Oh, I'm so glad you came on.
Yeah. What's up?